So give me, let me know in the chat if you can hear me, so I know I'm good. If you're watching on replay, this is me doing a live stream on February 11th, Saturday, on board Sky Princess. We're getting ready to embark another group of passengers. I've been on here for 2 weeks already. We're going to embark some passengers, and then we're going to leave today. So, pretty great. Let's see. I'm waiting for someone to tell me that my voice is okay. Okay, everyone's saying they can hear me. Can you hear me well, or is the music? I have my wireless mic on. So your mojo with the $5 super chat already, starting it off. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. It looks like we got a lot of chats going on in here. Holy cow. And Ken Plummer with a super sticker. Thanks, guys. All right, so you guys know that when I'm on my phone wireless, that it's hard for me to keep up with chat. So I would try to keep up with the chat, but if I miss your question, just retype it. If you could put the word question in all caps, and then your question, that'll help me be able to identify it. I see I've got a lot of channel members and a lot of moderators here. Kaylee's here, I see. Tara's here, and a bunch of other people. So they'll keep all the riffraff out of the chat, hopefully. Are you sitting in my space? No, I'm not sitting in your space. I found a 2-seater here. That's Fort Lauderdale behind me. Actually, it's probably Hollywood. And then got the pool behind me here.
How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Also. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Welcome.
Say hi to all my friends and family.
What are you doing, sir?
YouTube. I'm a YouTuber, yeah.
YouTuber, welcome on board, sir.
Yeah,
Very
thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. I've been on board for 2 weeks, so I'm just turning.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just turning around. So.
Yes.
Yeah,
We are very happy to have you back, sir.
Thank you. What do you do on board?
I'm the bar manager. In charge for all beverages, nice cocktails,
Yeah.
nice drinks.
So he's the bar manager. He's the most important person on board to most cruise people.
Yes, yeah. And tomorrow we're gonna have a beautiful promotion over here on the deck. We have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So tomorrow's the Super Bowl. What's the promotion?
We have wonderful cocktails, all the colors.
All the cocktails. What's your favorite cocktail
I
on
will
board?
tell you, there is the cucumber mojito, what I really like.
Cucumber mojito.
Yes, and this is going to be because of the green tea, what is playing tomorrow.
Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah.
Eagles, yes. And we have
Very cool.
we have a Chief Cosmos. It's going to be
Chief Cosmos.
yes,
Okay.
San Francisco.
Okay.
All of you, hello. Come to Princess, please. All the best.
Thank you. That was impromptu. I did not plan that. Look, we got 63 people in here. That's awesome. If you don't mind smashing a thumbs up, that helps more people find the live stream. I'd really appreciate it. Johnny's Journey is saying Chiefs all the way. What's going on, Johnny? How you doing? Your mojo's in the house. I'm not going to read everybody's name. I'm going to look for some questions here. The chat is scrolling quickly, so if you have a question, put it back in if I missed it, and I will try to get to it again. Nana on the runs in the house. Okay, question. What is one aspect of being on the cruise ship that you do not enjoy? Probably, what is one aspect I don't enjoy? It's hard to say right now because I've only been doing this for 2 weeks. It's not a whole lot to complain about when you're on a cruise ship. But I would say maybe I wish we stayed in ports overnight instead of leaving, around 4 or 5 or 6 p.m. I'm used to being in the Navy, and you pull into a port for 3-4 days, and so you can really go out and explore the port. So I would say the one thing I don't like about being on cruise ships is when you do pull into port, you're only getting it for a little bit. Hey, Rayleigh Creative Travel is here. What's going on? How are you, my friend? Why Not Travel says, how are you, my friend? I'm not sure. I'm your friend. How am I your friend? Oh, you're saying, how are you, comma, my friend? Sorry. I'm just like Ron Burgundy. I read it exactly how it's written. I'm doing good. Obviously, I'm enjoying myself on a cruise ship. So, all right. Mr. Mitch is in the house, my buddy, channel member and moderator from Thailand. The captain's talk. Oh no, this is the cruise director. COVID-like symptoms have hit the chief's locker room. Okay. Hey, let me know how the volume is. Do I need to turn it up? Can you hear me? Let me know how that is. I would like to stay overnight in some of the Mexican Riviera cruises. Yeah, definitely. Where am I headed? We are going to Costa Maya, Mexico, Cozumel, Mexico, Belize, Roatan, Honduras, and Costa Maya. Maybe I already said that. So, Home on the Hitch says, are you finding it easier to meet people on the ships versus in the van? Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons, you have access to people. Like here, look at all these people. And we're just boarding. So you have access to a lot of people, and so you can, obviously it's easier to meet people that way. We're on a van, you pull into a national forest somewhere and maybe there's only a couple of vans around you, unless you plan something like on Facebook or something like that. So we've got almost 100 people watching and 40 thumbs up. If you don't mind smashing it, it helps more people find it. This is the first live stream I've done in a long time. All right, so John Hackley says, question, will you be on Sky next Saturday? I'm sailing on the 18th. So I walk off the Sky on the 18th. So we'll be passing like ships in the night, John. And I will be hopping on MSC, I almost said USS. I'll be hopping on MSC Meraviglia. So I will be going on an MSC cruise ship. And then after that one, I will be going on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. So. And again, if I miss your question, the chat rolls really quick on here when I'm using YouTube on my phone. So just retype it. If you see that I've passed it up, how are you? If you see that I passed it up, people are starting to recognize me as a cruise vlogger. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't had that issue. But some of my videos are starting to do kind of well. So now people are starting to recognize me as a cruise vlogger. So that's new to me on a ship. Okay, Noreen says, question, is it easy to find quiet places on the ship? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, everybody's boarding. You're not allowed in your cabins yet because, they're turning over the cabins that people were in for my last cruise and refreshing them for the new people. So right now it seems super crowded on here and you'll see that, but normally it's not that way. There's so many different sections of the ship. It's a huge ship. You have this beachy outdoor area. There's a couple different levels of it. And a lot of people, that's what they want to do on a cruise ship. Other people will be down in the more elegant areas. I always call it an atrium, but whatever it's called, the big giant area with, multiple levels and the chandeliers and all that kind of stuff. And so it gets spread out. I'm an early morning person. When I come out early in the morning, you guys have seen my sunset videos from ships. I'm usually the only person out there. So it's, for me, but yeah, it's easy to get quiet time on a ship. Right now, though, it's pretty hectic because everyone's boarding and nobody can go to their cabins. I could because my cabin is the same, but I figured you'd probably rather have this outside. And it's really nice out right now. I don't know if you can see, but I think that's Hollywood Beach. I don't think that's actually Fort Lauderdale. Beach behind me. All right. Again, I'm on my, what is a must-do on Princess? So a must-do for me, because I'm all about the food, must-do on Princess for me is you can order it on the app, or you can go and eat at Crown Grill, which is a specialty restaurant, which costs a little extra money. I think it's like $19 or something like that. But you can also order this specific thing I like. It's the black and blue French onion soup. It's black because it's made with Jack Daniels. It's blue because it has blue cheese in it, along with the normal French onion soup cheese. And I know it doesn't sound good, but it is phenomenal. It's $7 and I've had it like 3 or 4 times on board. So yeah, pretty cool. All right, again, the chat goes super quick on my phone. So if I miss your question, ask it again. Rich L is in the house, channel member Rich L. What's going on, man? How have you found have you found any hidden places on the ship? I don't know about hidden places. This ship does not have a library, which most Princess ships have a library. And I would go to the library a lot, and nobody usually goes to the library. And I would go there and chill. I made a video there about the cost of my last cruise because nobody's in there. So I was able to easily shoot it without anybody bothering me, and it's a nice little background. I mean, the top decks in the morning, usually there's nobody up there, and so you get the sunset all by yourself. So it's pretty great. Your Mojo says, question, how is your bed in your room? So Princess is actually famous for how comfortable their beds are, and mine is no exception. It's like the best way I can describe it is it's like hanging out in a cloud. You almost don't want to get up. And I keep my room super cold, so it's like a cave in my room. And you got these nice double layered blankets, and you're all like snuggled into the bed. So the beds on Princess are phenomenal. We'll see on other cruise ships. I've heard they can be hit or miss on other cruise ships. But on Princess, that's one of the things they're famous for is their very comfortable beds and their really, really fluffy pillows. If you have allergy problems, they can give you the hypoallergenic pillows too. Hyperallergenic? Yeah. Hey, Robert Max in the house. What's going on, man? Again, I'm on my phone, so the chat moves super quick. So if I miss your question, just ask it again. What's your favorite thing to do on the ship? Honestly, my favorite thing to do, I would say, is go to one of the venues. Like Take 5 is a venue on here. On most Princess ships, it's called oh God, I can't even remember. It's called the Anchor Bar, but on here it's called Take 5, and it's a jazz bar. And there's a really good jazz trio on here that's phenomenal. And I like to just go in there and sit in there and listen to some jazz and just enjoy it. Your Mojo just did another super chat for my next French onion soup, my black and blue. Now, you can come on the ship and not spend a penny on food. There is plenty of great food on the ship. They actually have a specialty restaurant here called Alfredo's Pizza. To sit down, you would think you have to pay for it, you don't. They make you a fresh pizza. They got a zillion different flavors. If you go back to, not my last video, which is Puerto Rico, but my video before that, you'll see a guy spinning the pizza. So you can go to that specialty restaurant, and they have calzones and all kinds of other Italian food. That one's completely free, and then all the dining rooms are free, all the buffets are free. There is a pizza place up here too on this pool deck that I'm sitting on. I'm sitting on the pool deck, one of the pool decks. And it's called Slice. It's not as good as Alfredo's, but it's still good. It's like New York style pizza. It's really good. It's free. But there also are specialty restaurants. And what your Mojo just donated for was, there's a $7 soup from there, French onion soup called Black and Blue Soup, and it's freaking phenomenal. So, your Mojo, let's see, your Mojo, Mr. Mitch, Robert Mack in Asia, those are all guys who are on my channel from the Thailand days. Kaylee's on my channel from Tara, they're all from my channel from van life days. I don't know if there's anybody on my channel right now from remote year days, but if there is, type RY in the chat. All right, again, if I missed your question, put it in again. The chat moves super quick. I'll try to answer every question if you've ever followed my live streams before. We've got 125 people in here. We've got 67 likes. Can we get it to 100? I would super appreciate that. I'm trying to get more cruise people in here. Someone just called me Master Chief. That used to be my name back in the day. Here's a question. If you look at Coding is Fun, how they put question in, and Coding is Fun, I saw you on Let's Go Travel. Let's Go Travel Tips. So if you guys haven't checked out Let's Go Travel Tips, they're awesome. They let me post things on their Facebook. That's probably where Coding is Fun found this live stream. And they're just great, especially for Princess content, although they're expanding beyond Princess Cruise content now. They're doing more different ships, which is great. But Allison and her husband are just amazing, super gracious, super nice. I'm gonna try to do one of their group cruises in the future. I'm kind of working on it, maybe the Antarctic one that they're gonna do. Hey, Let's Go Travel Tips is in the chat. You know what? You asked a question, coding for fun, and I can't remember what it was. Okay, here we go. Have you had the opportunity to meet other solo travelers during your time on the ship? So, I have. So I've done 3 cruises on Sky Princess, 3 7-day cruises. I booked it, one is a 7-day and one is a 14-day, but it's really 3 separate cruises. This time we have 800 people staying on this second cruise, so people who were on the last cruise are on this cruise. The first cruise I was on, huge solo group. I think some of them are actually in the chat. I think Andrea is in the chat. My homegirl from New York City, who was awesome. If you saw my picture of the person that adopted me on Sky Princess, she's one of those people. Where was I going with that? So that one had a big solo group. When I was on Ruby Princess for 16 days, we had an amazing solo group, but most of that was fed by the Facebook group for that cruise. So that's how you find solos. The first thing is you find the Facebook group for your cruise. So whatever your cruise is, like let's say it's Sky Princess and it leaves on the 4th of March, search Sky Princess for March and you'll probably find a Facebook group that's been created. I think, was it Andrea that created that group? It might have not been Andrea, but she was in the group. And then they have solo meetups every night at around 6:30 on this ship. It's in the Wakeview bar. First night it's usually well attended, and then it just tapers off. And hopefully you get a good core group. I'm gonna do a whole video about how I think Princess is missing a huge opportunity with solos because there's tons of them on board. The reason I've been given for why they don't facilitate solo meetups is because they'd have to do it for other groups. And my answer for that is, okay. Like you're missing, and it's not even for a selfish like passenger experience reason. For me, it's a revenue missed opportunity for them. They should be embracing these solo groups because for me, for instance, I don't really drink that much alcohol, but when I go with the solos and they're at a bar, I'll order a cocktail. That's $10. That's $10 the ship is making from me that they wouldn't normally make. And if we're there for a few hours, I might do 2 or 3. Same with specialty dining. I don't really do specialty dining, which is going out and paying for a meal at a restaurant. But when I was on Ruby Princess, they were booking all kinds of specialty dinings, and they asked me if I wanted to come, and I said yeah. So there's $30 more that the cruise ship made off of me that they wouldn't have. Sometimes they go to the casino and do like a group pool, and everyone throws in a bunch of money, and so it's just a huge revenue missed opportunity for them. By not hosting all the different specialty groups that are on here. I think it would, if they had one person on here that just was devoted to solos, I think the cost of that person would be dwarfed by the amount of money that would be spent by the solos. Because when there's solo stuff, I go. And you guys know I'm an early riser. I get up really early, which means I go to bed early, right? I'm like an 80-year-old man. And so I'll go to my cabin at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, and I'll throw on Modern Family or Everybody Loves Raymond. Those are 2 of the shows they have on here that I like. Or The Love Boat. But if there's a solo thing going on at 8:30, they're doing a pub crawl where they're going to hop from bar to bar on board Princess. I'll go and I'll get a beer and I'll probably drink 3 or 4 beers. So it's a huge revenue miss for them, in my opinion. Huge. And for a company that's trying to figure out ways to make money, hopefully they'll hear that one, because I'm going to do a whole video about it. I know there are cruise lines that do solos better than Princess. I don't know, I kind of went off on a tangent, but I know there's cruise lines that do have a better experience for solos, and I'll be on a bunch of them. I'm going on Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, MSC, so we'll see how they compare. I've heard most of them don't do well. I've heard Norwegian and Virgin do well. I have 98 thumbs up. I've got 150 people in here. If you haven't smashed that thumbs up, please smash it. I appreciate it. And again, Let's Go Travel Tips is in here. Make sure you go to their channel if you're into cruise content, and give them a follow. They make, especially if you like Princess cruises. When I first started cruising, I knew I was going to be drawn to Princess because I love the technology on board. I've been on Princess cruises in the past, and I really love the experience. I'm not really into the water slides and go-kart tracks. I don't need that stuff. And the channel that I found that had the best info on Princess cruises was Let's Go Travel Tips. Allison and her husband provide phenomenal information, and they've been very gracious with me, letting me post on their channel because I don't really have a cruise audience yet. And they've been very gracious letting me post. Same with Cruises for Solos, by the way. Cruises for Solo Facebook page, which has 40 or 50,000 people. They don't really need me. But another great resource for solos. All right, so, hey, Fa's in the house. What's going on, Fa? Someone called me Pep. Perry called me Pep, still rocking the black tees. Yeah, man. Merino wool works for cruising. It's perfect, actually. Okay, I'm at Pablo. If you ask a question and I missed it, re-ask it. I know that sucks. Maybe cut and paste it so you can just repaste it in later on if I haven't answered it. Because the chat just moves so fast when I'm on my phone. Any single cruise ship? I mean, there are specific cruises geared for singles. I've never done one, so I can't really speak to that. But there are ones that are specifically marketed at singles. There are cruise ships that have a reputation for being better solo cruise lines, like Norwegian, because they have those studio cabins, which I'm going to be in one in May. Yeah, May. I'll be on Getaway, NCL Getaway, and I'll be in a solo cabin. But you just kind of have to Google like single cruises and you'll find them. But there's no cruise line that's specifically just for singles that I know of. Are you paying single supplement? So Tila, I use a website called Cruise Plum. It is not a travel website or anything like that. It's just a bunch of people who love cruising, and they made this website that's really friendly to solo travelers because you can search the one person price. Most websites don't do that, and even Vacations to Go is good, but you can really narrow it down with Cruise Plum. It's just a search engine like Google, and you can search by solo supplement if you want. You can search by, but don't get too caught up on the solo supplement. Look more for cost per day, and also find the true cost, which was another thing I love about Cruise Plum. Their cost includes cruise fare, taxes, port fees, and gratuities. Those are the 4 fixed costs in my opinion. Most other cruise sites show you the double occupancy number, but they also don't show you port fees, they don't show you gratuities, but Cruise Plum shows you all of that in the price that you see, and you can sort it by cost per day as well. So if you, like for me, I try to keep my costs somewhere around $100 a day. And so on this cruise right here, actually let me tell you about my last cruise, my last Panama Canal cruise, the 16-day, my cruise fare was only $425. I paid a -3% solo supplement. If you booked with multiple people, if you booked double occupancy, you paid more than me per person. So sometimes you can find that deal. This ship, I think I'm paying a 10% solo occupancy, but I'm getting credit for double occupancy on my number of cruises. You'll see I've only done two Princess cruises, and I'm already Ruby. And after this cruise, I will be Platinum because I'm getting 2 cruises per 7-day cruise. So I'm like leveling up really quick. I'll be Platinum after this cruise. And so my next Princess cruise, which will be on the Caribbean Princess in April, I'll be on there for almost a month, which will put me in elite status after that one, by the way. I will be Platinum, so I'll get 50% off Wi-Fi, which to me is the biggest benefit as someone who pretty soon deposits have to be paid, and that's usually when, a week or two later you might see a quick drop. It doesn't last long, but that's what happened to my Fire and Ice cruise. It only dropped $300, so not a significant amount, although that's about 10% drop. But yeah. Okay. Tila says, I love NCL. I'm a former employee. That's awesome. I'm excited to get on NCL pretty soon. I booked a studio cabin on Getaway. My friends are doing Breakaway, and I was going to do that cruise, but it just didn't fit my itinerary. And they also don't have studio cabins, and I wanted to try the studio cabins out. So, what cruise line is Fire and Ice? That is Princess, and it's on Island Princess. And if you guys want to book it, probably won't cost you any more. Book it through Let's Go Travel Tips. They're an expert on Princess. I don't work for them at all. They're just friends, but they seem like stand-up people. So they could probably help you out with that, actually, if you didn't want to book it directly. Update on my budget. So far, man, I'm under $100 a day. I'm not going to lie to you, that Fire and Ice cruise is about $140 a day. Although if I would have waited a little longer, it would have been like $125 a day. And it would be easy to stay under $100 a day. Like, I could stay in the Caribbean and also in Europe and in Alaska and stay easily at 100, possibly below, especially if you ride a bunch of MSC ships. There's a ton of MSC ships that you can get the cost per day down to $60 to $80 a day for a solo. And then you can be $90 a day and be in a balcony. So it would be really easy. But there's a lot of destination cruises that I want to do, and those usually are a little bit more expensive. Although if you're willing to wait till last minute, you can usually get them a pretty good price. Like I said, my Panama Canal cruise was I think it was $73 a day for a 16-day cruise solo. And those port fees are super high, and it was still $73 a day. And I got $450 onboard credit. So, okay. Andrea is in Brooklyn. That's my girl. We were on the last cruise. Not the last cruise together, because that one just ended. The last cruise together. Which cruise line would you recommend for a first-time cruiser? So again, I am not a cruise expert, Brooklyn. Again, head over to go to Cruising for Solos Facebook page that has like 40,000 people. They'll be able to give you a much better answer. I've in my whole life, I've only sailed Princess multiple times. I've sailed on Carnival, and I've sailed on Royal Caribbean. No, NCL. So I don't have a huge amount of cruise experience. In about 6 months, you can ask me again, and I'll be able to give you a good answer to that. Go to Let's Go Travel Tips as well. Places like that, and anybody else who's on here that is a cruise channel. I'm not sure who's on here because the stuff's moving so quickly. But so I don't have a good recommendation for you. Other people in the chat are much more experienced cruisers than me, and they'll be able to give you a better answer to that question. I'll give you a little bit of what my research tells me. If you want a chill, laid-back cruise, go on Princess, go on Holland America. If you want a little bit more of a party atmosphere, go on Carnival. If you want like a more like amusement park type of experience, go on Royal Caribbean, the newer ships, NCL, the newer ships, even Celebrity. Celebrity may be a mix of both, like chill, laid back, but also all the whiz-bang things. And obviously there's all different levels of cruising. You can go on Oceanic, you can go on Silver Seas, and you get a more luxurious type of cruise. I'm trying to get booked on Queen Mary too, so that'll be a little bit more luxurious. We'll see. MSC, if you're on a budget and you want like, a lot of people who cruise other lines tend to not like MSC, but maybe if you cruise MSC first, you'll like them. I'm going to be on them pretty soon. I'm super excited about them. The thing I'm most excited about MSC, to be completely honest with you, and I haven't even done this yet, but I know it's going to be the case. Their private island, I'm almost positive is going to be my favorite. Because it's just pristine, it's beautiful, it's a nature reserve, so they don't have all the, like Perfect Day at Coco Cay is more like an amusement park, even though you do have secluded areas. It's not really my thing, water slides and amusement park stuff geared for kids. So I have a feeling MSC's private island is going to be like my cup of tea, and I'm going to be spending 3 days there on my next cruise. It's an 11-day cruise, and then I have another 14-day cruise where we'll stop there 4 times with MSC. So I'm excited. I think the reason I will cruise MSC in the future, even if I don't maybe like it as much as other cruises, is number one, they matched my Hilton Honors status, which is I had the highest status, so they gave me the highest status on MSC. I've never even touched an MSC ship. That's one reason, but the other reason is that I think I'm going to really enjoy their private island. And they stay overnight there too, which I really like the idea of that. If I missed your question, please ask it again. My chat moves really quick when I'm on my phone, and it's hard to go back and read it. All right. Please check Kevin's last few videos. Very interesting places. Thanks, Robert. I use, someone just said, I think I use Let's Go Travel, I think. Okay. Hey, Kevin, just tuning in, enjoying the food. Yeah, I'm loving the food, Calvin. I think you watched my video where I ate mofongo in Puerto Rico. That was phenomenal. If you guys never had mofongo, when you do the Puerto Rican cruise port San Juan, go check out my video. I just walked off the ship. I didn't do any excursion. It's a great video about how you can just walk off in San Juan and go to an amazing beach, a really cool national park, historical type of site, but also find some great restaurants. And I went to a restaurant called Casa Luna, and I got mofongo, which is a traditional Puerto Rican dish that has African roots. It's made with plantains, garlic, all kinds of things that are bad for you, but it tastes phenomenal. It was really good. Are there any cruises you have found between the US and Asia? Yeah, there are tons. They'll usually cruise out of LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Vancouver in October. September, October, and there'll be trans-Pacific cruises that'll end either in Australia or Japan. And of course, there are around the world cruises that's part of their cruise. You'll also find, you can also find like cruises that go up to Hawaii and then down to like Tahiti, Pago Pago, Samoa, places like that, and then back to the US. But there are trans-Pacific cruises. I'm actually going to be doing one on Celebrity, a trans-Pacific. I think it's in September. Yeah, there are tons of them in the September-October timeframe. Dynek, I do not use a travel agent so far. Maybe I will in the future, but I wanted to know the mechanics of finding affordable cruises. And another thing I've noticed about travel agents from a solo cruise perspective, when I was talking to some of them, is they're not super familiar with how to find deals for solo cruisers. For whatever reason, that's probably not their focus. And so I've been able to find better deals than they've been able to quote me through my own research, using mostly Cruise Form, to be honest with you. And then going on to the website of the cruise and make sure you have your login and stuff, because for whatever reason, a lot of times, even Princess will be looking at Princess website and they'll quote me a price like, let's say the cruise, let's say they're quoting me $1,500. Well, when I log in, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because of my status, I don't know what, but I'll end up getting a cheaper price than they can even get. So always check the website too, because sometimes you'll be able to get a cheaper cruise booking yourself, and then you can transfer it over to the travel agent, and they'll be able to handle any issues you have or anything like that. But I have not, because I want to learn the mechanics of booking my own cruises, so when I'm talking about it, I can speak intelligently about it. At some point in the future, if I continue to cruise, especially long term, I'll probably get a travel agent, so I don't have to sit on hold for an hour trying to change a cruise or whatever. Okay, hey Kevin, new to the channel, looking forward to following your adventures. This is from Tim. Random question, but can I ask what camera you use day to day? I use my iPhone 12. For those who have been following my YouTube channel, you know that in the beginning I carried this huge camera around with these super expensive lenses and a big giant thing to help stabilize it. What I found out is the iPhone is almost as good as that. You don't get the dynamic range, the blurry background type of look, but that trade-off, you still get it a little bit nowadays with the new the prime lens on the iPhone 12s and above, and you also get great stabilization, better than most gimbals, to be honest with you. And so I'm a one-bag traveler, by the way, carry-on only, and I just found it was too much equipment to travel around with. It made traveling miserable for me trying to film, and so now I just do everything with my iPhone. 99% of the stuff you see on my channel is from my iPhone. The other 1% is my GoPro if I'm like jumping in some water or something. And I did film with the GoPro for a while, but to be honest with you, the iPhone's better now for 99% of things. Okay, if you have a question again, ask it again. Your solo focus is what brought me here? Yeah, I'm completely solo. Yeah, someone's mentioned that Rakuten. I started using that recently. Actually, Andrea is the one that turned me on to it. You get 1.5 off Princess Cruises and 2% off Celebrity Cruises. And by off, I mean they give you a rebate. And they send you a check, or they do PayPal. They'll send it to you in PayPal. So that's a good way to get 1.5% off your cruises, on top of whatever else you'll get. So I actually signed up for it. I haven't used it yet, but when I book my next cruise on Princess or Celebrity, I will use it. Someone was talking about military discounts. So every cruise line is a little bit different on how they handle it. Princess gives you onboard credit, anywhere from I think $50 to $250. So like on this cruise I'm on right now, I booked it as a 14-day cruise, even though it's 2 7-day cruises. So they gave me 250 onboard credit. Pretty good deal, right? I also own stock. I own 100 shares of stock, which used to be pretty cheap. You used to be able to get 100 shares for like $700. At one time, you were able to get it for like $300. But it pays for itself for me. I think I paid like $800 for all mine. Now it's about $1,100 for my 100 shares of Carnival stock. And you just have to submit your proof that you own it, and you'll get up to 250 onboard credit. Like this cruise right now, if I had it on this one, I haven't owned it long enough. Pretty soon I will have owned it long enough. It'll be on my future Princess Cruises and Carnival Cruises and Holland America Cruises, everything owned by Carnival. I'll get 250 on my 14-day sailings or more extra. So I'll be getting my military, which is 250. I'll be getting the shareholder, which is 250, that's 500. Plus I buy when I'm on board the ship, don't ever book multiple Princess Cruises all at once. Go book one, go on the ship, and then get the future cruise credit, which costs $100, but it takes $100 off your future cruise. So you get that money back, and then it'll give you onboard credit, anywhere from $25 to $150. So when I book a 14-day cruise, I get $125 with that too. So that's $625. And then whatever, on top of that, whatever Princess is offering. For a while, they were giving $200 onboard credit. Now they're giving, as a solo, they gave me $100 onboard credit for this cruise. So like on a 14-day or more cruise, I'm getting like $700-800 onboard credit. So and even though it says you can't use it for everything, you actually can. I've never had them have them not apply it to whatever I'm charging. So there you go. I was going to ask about stock. I own Carnival and NCL. Hey, LV is a member. If you guys didn't know, she's been a member for 10 months. How you doing, LV? And she's also a moderator on here. It sounds good to me, military discount. Yeah, so I mentioned Princess gives you onboard credit. Norwegian gives you a 10% discount. And you just send in your DD-214 and then it automatically applies. You'll see it when you go to book. When you go to pay for it, you'll see it applied to your booking. So Norwegian is 10% off, which is great. MSC is 5% off. Those are the ones I know. So if you are a vet, prior military, you get some, or active duty military. They also do it for other people too. I think they do it for first responders. I think some cruise lines do it for teachers. So there are other, like, just go and research it. Like whatever you are, just Google it. You never know. I mean, heck. All right. But there's other ways to get it too. Obviously, if you own stock, when you come on board, buy the future cruise credit, which is $100, and then they apply that $100 to your next booking, and then they give you credit based on how long what cabin you get and how long you're sailing. So, like this 14-day cruise, I got $125 just for that. You know, I got the $100 cruise credit. They took $100 off the cost of my cruise, and they gave me $125. So I basically got a free $125. Okay. All right, I'm trying to find questions. If you have them, ask them again. Hey, Melanie, what's going on? Another channel member in the house. Okay, let's see. Using military and shareholder benefits really reduce the overall cost of the cruise. Kevin is, yeah, it's great. It's great. So, like for me, I get the onboard internet, which for a 21-day cruise, for my 21 days was $300. I had $475 onboard credit. So basically, I paid for my internet, and then plus a little bit, right? I also got, so on my last cruise, I went for video purposes. I shot myself gambling, and I put $50 into the slot machine or whatever. I don't really gamble that much, and I got $150 casino credit. So I did it on this cruise, and I went down, and I just did max bet, and I won like a little jackpot. So I won $1,000. And I just took that $1,000 and ran with it. So you can also, if you like to gamble, they'll also give you a bunch of, I heard Princess is the best on that. If you guys watch Pero DJ, which is another channel I really like, there's so many great cruise channels. Pero DJ, all that stuff. Oh, Kaylee. Kaylee, you've been a channel member for 24 months? Holy cow. Wow, I know I got a bunch of people that have been channel members for 24 months. That's amazing. 2 years. Like, you guys are awesome. Are you making friends? Any romance? Asked Jimmy V. Andrea's on here. I completely met Andrea on 2 cruises ago. We did the Western Caribbean. I can't even remember where I met Andrea. I think we met on the Facebook page, and then we ran into each other. And yeah, it was really cool. So yeah, I'm meeting all kinds of people, tons of different people I'm meeting on cruise ship. And they're all like, we're all Facebook friends. I met a ton from my Panama Canal cruise that I still keep in touch with. So yeah, it's pretty awesome actually. Any romance? No romance. Not yet. I mean, it's cruising, right? It's short. Any romance is probably going to be pretty short term. Not that I'm opposed to short-term romances. Anyway, that's too much information. Let's see. Kaylee, you shared memberships to people? I don't know how that works. God, I can't see it on here. You gave people memberships, Kaylee? You're too kind. Thank you for doing that, if you did that. I'm a new channel member. I have enjoyed, Cheryl says, I've enjoyed your channel. How do you like Sky Princess? I really like Sky Princess. So I'm going to be honest with you. Personally, I like older Princess cruise ships better because I just know them very well. I like the venues on the older ones. I like the Wheelhouse Bar, although, Take 5 is really nice on here. But I do love these new ones have the Alfredo's pizza that's by itself. I miss Adagio. I really like Adagio, which is on the older ships. The new ship doesn't have Adagio bar. There's no Skywalker's Lounge on here. But the new ship is growing on me. There's a lot of things to like. The aft area I think is better on the old ships. It's more open. It's a little bit more claustrophobic on here. On the newer ships, I like the aft wake area better. They have the wake view bar on here. It's called Outrigger on the older Princess ships. So I really love Sky Princess, and I'm going to do more new ships. I've heard they've all got subtle differences, so I'm excited to try. Actually, one of my new goals is to sail on every Princess ship. So I've actually been on a few Princess ships because I've done a bunch in the past, but I can't remember which ones. How you doing? How you doing? Good, good. I can't remember which ones I was on, but I 100% have been on Ruby and Sky Princess. And I really like the layout on Ruby. I know Island Princess has a different layout because it's built more for going to cold places. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be like on Island Princess. Another thing I don't like about the new ships is for every action is an opposite reaction. So there's a plus and a minus for this. So the promenade deck, deck 7, on older ships you can walk around the entire promenade deck. So there's always people in the morning walking around that deck. The deck does not do that on the newer ships. But one of the good things about that is there are all these really cool sitting areas that there's nobody ever around in those sitting areas. And so the promenade deck is actually a great place for peace and quiet. If you watched my video 2 videos ago, where I do all these cut-ins, one of those cut-ins is on that deck, and you can see how beautiful it is. And I had it all to myself, and it was pretty awesome. And there's a bunch of lounge chairs and things like that. Do you have travel insurance? Do you purchase it in each cruise? So Laura, I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve credit card. I have a link to it down below. If you sign up, they'll give you 10,000 points. They'll give me 10,000 points, I believe. I love it. It's $550 a year, so it's an expensive travel card, but I travel full time, so for me it makes sense. But with that $550 you get, with that $550 you get $300 off every year that you spend on travel and restaurants. So you get $300 of it back right away, pretty much. So it's really only $250, and with that $250 you get priority pass lounge access. So in airports you get access to the lounges for free, which is great, especially overseas, because they all have food and alcohol. You also get a bunch of other things. Every dollar I spend on food, on restaurants and travel, which is like 90% of the money I spend, right? I get 3 points, and then I can redeem them for 50% more. So I get, basically I get 4.5 points for every dollar I spend. So that money pretty much pays for all my flights and hotels, all the points I get. So I really don't I haven't paid for flights in 4 years. I've been traveling full time for 4 years. To your question, it also includes 2 kinds of insurance. It includes travel insurance. So if my up to $10,000. So if my cruise gets canceled for whatever reason that's not under my control, it'll reimburse me up to $10,000. So I elect not to take the travel insurance. I'm not telling anybody to do that. There's probably some benefits to doing that, taking it. I just don't. I've actually had to use my travel card insurance before. It also covers rental car insurance, and I got in a little fender bender in my rental car. It's my fault. I hit a little pole pulling out of a gas station, and it dented it. It's $2,000 worth of damage. Chase Sapphire Reserve paid for it. It took a little bit. I had to go through their process just like you would an insurance company, and they paid for it. Where was I going with that? Oh, so they offer that travel insurance. Now, what that won't cover is if I decide I don't want to do the cruise. So a lot of the travel insurance that cruises give also covers if you decide you just don't want to do the cruise. They'll give you credit or they'll reimburse you. So it doesn't cover that. It only covers like if my cruise gets canceled for some reason, things like that. And the cruise company won't reimburse me for whatever reason. So I have that. Plus, it has evacuation type of insurance. It's up to $100,000. You have to be 100 miles away from 100, I think it's 100 to 150 miles. You have to be over that, away from where you live, and they have a $100,000 policy on you that will fly you back. Oh, by the way, that $10,000, if there's two of you, it's $20,000 it'll cover. But for me, a solo traveler, it covers $10,000. So my credit card actually has a lot of that insurance that you pay for when you go on a cruise, and it'll cover up to a 50-day booking. So I haven't booked anything over 50 days. So, all my bookings are, for the most part, I think my longest one right now is 33 days. So I haven't had to get supplemental insurance, but that's what I use. I'm not telling anybody to do that. Okay, that's not advice. That's what I do, and I feel comfortable doing that. So, new member, are your drinks and food free? So I don't get alcohol packages because I just don't drink enough to justify the cost. Some people do, but I did the calculation. You have to drink at least 6 alcoholic beverages a day, which I would never do, to break even. If you are a partier, it's a great deal. Me, I just rather pay for, if I get a drink, it'll be $10. So instead of me paying, $50, $60 a day for drinks, I just get one drink, it'll be $10. And I don't drink very often. You can drink as much tea. They have specialty teas. They have the teas out of the fountain type of thing. They have lemonade. That's all free. All your food is free. There are specialty restaurants that you can go to that are a little bit more upscale, but the dining rooms are really good. This ship, Sky Princess, has a specialty restaurant that's free called Alfredo's Pizza. It's basically homemade pizza. It always gets voted the best pizza at sea, and it is phenomenal. I had the Princess Special, which was great. But you can also get drink packages that will include a bunch of cocktails and a bunch of other things like that. So you can do that. You can do that as well. So, but I elect not to do that because I just don't drink enough. And I'm drinking a soda now, but I don't normally drink soda either on board. I used to have a really bad soda habit. Those who've been following me for a while know that, but I don't really, it's not really an issue anymore. Okay, I saw a super chat in here. New member. Oh, I already answered that one. Do you have health insurance? Yeah, so I'm retired military. I was in the Navy for 20 years. And when you retire, one of the benefits you get is TRICARE for life. And so I have health insurance through Humana. So I do have normal health insurance. But as far as travel insurance, all that's covered via my credit card. Kevin turned down 2 free beers. I did. You know what I found? Andrea says I turned down 2 free beers. Yeah, so Andrea is elite on Princess, so they give her a bunch of, one of the perks is they give you a free mini bar when you go in, a bunch of little tiny alcoholic beverages and some beers, some Cokes. But I found out recently that I can trade that for a coffee card. So I do pay for one thing on board. I get the unlimited, well, it's not unlimited coffees, it's 15 specialty coffees. So I drink coffee every morning. On Princess, I get butter pecan latte every morning. And if I paid for that, it's like $3 to $4, depending on what I add to it. I pay $30 for a coffee package that gets me 15 specialty coffees, so $2 a coffee. I have been drinking a lot of butter pecan lattes, but recently I discovered the chocolate chip cookie dough latte, and I have been drinking that one lately. So if you have been following my channel for a while, I like Fufu coffee. I'm not going to apologize for it. I do like it. Someone said, do I enjoy Ruby enough to travel to other destinations? Yeah, I definitely want to get on Ruby again. Like I said, my goal is to travel on all of the Princess ships. It's one of my goals. So I would only book Ruby again if there's some incredible deals until I've already won on the other ones. But there actually are some incredible deals right now out of Galveston. I mean, there are some Princess cruise, there are some Ruby cruises that are like, for solos, like $70 a day, which is super inexpensive, $70, $80 a day. Do you get off at ports? Yeah, I get off at ports. Sometimes I do excursions. My last cruise, I had a $200 excursion credit, so I did excursions on there. I use those excursion credits, but excursions cost money, and I usually just like to walk off. When I was in Costa Maya, I walked off. I went to a cab driver and I said, "Hey, I saw this area that there were surfers," and I said, "But it was a little bit down the beach. I could see it from the ship though, and the waves were pretty good." And I said, "Hey, can you take me somewhere where I can rent a surfboard and surf?" And he took me over there. It's about a mile. I ended up paying $20. He waited for me. He had a beer while I was surfing, and I surfed. So when I just did a video on Puerto Rico where I just walked off the ship. I would tell people not to do an excursion in Puerto Rico. At least you don't have to. You can just walk off, and you can walk to a beach in 20 minutes, or you can rent a little bike and just ride over there in 5 minutes. Or they have those like stand-up scooters, and they have great bike paths there, amazing bike paths. But yeah, I have a video on San Juan where I did that. You can go check it out after this live stream. Hey, we're at 172 thumbs up. If you haven't smashed it, if you don't mind smashing it, try to get to 200 thumbs up. The excursion credit can be used for anything. Yeah, all the credits I've noticed on Princess can be used for anything, except for the casino credit. You got to go gamble that away. But maybe you'll get lucky like me. I had $150 on board casino credit, and I won $1,000. So I'm lucky like that sometimes. Tara, he is living my dream life for sure. Oh, Tila. Hey, I've seen you in other forums, haven't I, Tila? Hey, if you guys don't mind, if you ask a question, re-ask it, and I'll try to get to it. Cut and paste it as well, or cut it, so you can repaste it just in case I miss it. My chat moves so quickly. And if you put a question mark, or maybe even a little cruise ship. I see Catherine put a little cruise ship. She said, we cruise out of Galveston too. We're on the Ruby end of this month. Awesome. I love Ruby, Princess. I haven't done a whole lot of cruise ships, but it's got a special place in my heart of hearts. Is the Wi-Fi good enough to accommodate a remote worker? So Nana, it depends on what you want to do. I've been watching people's live streams and participating in them. I actually went live on someone else's live stream the other night. They were doing a fundraiser for a fundraiser called Helping Hands, which helps people who are less fortunate or are disabled take cruises. And so I went live on there, and I was able to do it from the ship at sea in the middle of the ocean. Wasn't the best quality, but I was still able to do it. I'm going to try some live streams at sea. Right now I'm on LTE because we're in Fort Lauderdale right now. We haven't left yet, but I'm going to try some at sea. So people are saying they love my food reviews, but nobody's watching that video compared to other videos. People never watch my food vlogs. Everyone says they want it, but then nobody watches. What did you play to win? So I'm not a very good casino person. I just won on a slot machine and bet the highest amount you could bet, and I just hit, and I got lucky. Complete luck, completely random. But the Wi-Fi good enough for remote workers. So I would say if you're doing email, things like that, it's perfect. If you got to do a bunch of teleconferences, maybe not, but I think you could still get away with it, especially if you are living on cruise ships that port a lot. My T-Mobile has worked everywhere that we go. And in most ports in the Caribbean and in Mexico, I get 5G included with my T-Mobile plan. T-Mobile works in almost every country in the world. You'll get at least 3G. And a lot of companies, 4G and 5G are included in your plan. Mexico, it's included. When I was in Grand Cayman, it was included. I had LTE. So if you're porting a lot, you're on a cruise ship that's porting a lot, you will, you don't even need the ship's Wi-Fi. Any excursions, I think you mean? Yeah, I usually sign up last minute, which is a terrible idea because you might not get the excursions you want. It's a terrible idea. Don't do that. But but that's what I do. I'm a last minute person. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I like to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I don't like booking things in advance because I don't know what I'm going to want to do 2 days from now. When I'm in Cozumel in 2 days from now, I don't know if I'm going to want to go snorkeling. I might not feel like going snorkeling. I might feel like sitting on the beach all day. So I will only book that snorkeling trip like the day before. I know, and that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Don't be me. Fervently Passionate Believer says, are there Christian services or events available? Yeah, there's on this. I can't speak for every ship, but on this ship there are Sunday worshiping services every morning here. Not every morning, every Sunday. I don't know if there are worshiping services every morning, but there is a place for you to worship. If you choose to go there every single day, I'm sure that won't be a problem. They have a chapel on board where they do weddings and also services. So you'll definitely be able to do that. Got a new channel member in the house, Catherine Sink. Thanks for joining. It's been so long since I've got a new channel member. I haven't seen that little purple one in a long time, the little blue one. Those are all buttons from my van life. I might switch it up a little bit and add some other buttons. We'll see. I know a lot of people love those, so I don't know. I might have a revolt if I do that. Melanie, hey Melanie, what's going on? Melanie is a romance novel. She writes steamy books. She's a romance novelist. Very popular one. It's hard for me to read these questions. I've seen travel-related food content do better on shorts than vids. Yeah, I should probably do more shorts. I tried a short the other day. I'm gonna try some more. Box Van D is in the house. What's going on, Box? Box is one of my van life buddies. She's got a great YouTube channel too, by the way. Check her out. Again, if you ask something, yeah, there are AA meetings on board too, by the way. It's great to see you traveling again, says Catherine. Thanks, Catherine. If you got gifted a membership from, somebody gifted a membership. Did Kaylee gift people memberships? And if you got gifted one, just type in there, hey, I got gifted a membership. Because I didn't see those pop up. So I'm curious about that. Because that's something new that you can do. I haven't seen that before. Are you able to coordinate same-day disembark, embark? So I think you're talking about for excursions. Oh, same-day disembark, embark. So if you're staying on the same cruise ship, the cruise ship will organize it for you. I did it today. It was so easy. We just basically, I chose not to go out in Fort Lauderdale. I could have and came back at the ship as long as I was back before 3. I just chose to get right back on. And the way they do it is you bring your passport. They give you this thing called an in-transit card. And with Princess, you have a medallion that you can get on everything with. And you just do your medallion to get off the ship. You go and customs is there. They didn't really do anything but scan my face because I'm global entry, but I think it works with anybody now. They just scan my face and then I turn back around, walk right back on. It was not a huge process. It was great. It was an easy experience. Tila got gifted a membership. That's awesome, Tila. Do you have to get off the ship? So, when a ship comes to the United States, then goes to a foreign port and comes back to the United States, everybody has to get off the ship. They have to do that for customs. And then so on this ship last cruise we had like, I don't know, 3,000 people. I don't know exactly what the number was. 3,000 people, 800 people stayed on board. Because you could have booked this cruise as 2 7-day cruises or a 14-day cruise. So a lot of people booked the 14-day cruise. There's 800 of us that stayed on board for the next cruise. So they had to, basically once they cleared out all the other passengers that weren't sailing, they took us, all 800 of us off, and we went through customs. The customs agents are there, but they don't do anything unless your face scan doesn't work. Then they'll look at your passport. But they scanned our face and we walked right back on the ship. So they have to do that. They have to completely clear the ship out for customs. It's a U.S. thing. It's a U.S. law, and so that's what you have to do. So that's a same day disembark, re-embark on the same ship. You can also go you can also do a side to side cruise. So that's a back to back cruise. You can also do a side to side. So over here, over my shoulder over here, there's a Celebrity ship, there's an MSC ship. There's probably more that way. Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades, that's a bazillion cruise ships. That port here, there's 25 cruise terminals. Let's say I was getting on that Celebrity ship today, right? They pulled in today, they disembarked all their passengers, and they're embarking right now, I'm sure. So let's say this Princess cruise ended for me today. I could walk off this ship, walk over there, it's within walking distance, or take a cab there, I guess, and I could go to that ship. That's a side-to-side cruise. So I could disembark this ship and embark that ship on the same day. And it's in the same port, so it makes it really easy. You can also do a side-to-side in different ports. I wouldn't go too far away, but Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades, and Miami Cruise Port are pretty close together, right? So let's say I was boarding a ship out of Miami Cruise Port. I could do that. I could leave this cruise port, hop in a cab, probably a 30, 40-minute cab ride, go to Miami Cruise Port, hop on my new ship. Or if I want to gamble a little bit, actually it probably wouldn't be gambling. I could hop off this ship and go up to Orlando and jump on a ship in Orlando. I am jumping, my next ship after this one is in Orlando. It's the MSC Meraviglia, but I'm not doing. It really won't be considered a side to side because there's a day in between my cruises. So I'm going up to Orlando, Port Canaveral. They call it Orlando, but it's not really in Orlando. It's, Port Canaveral. I'm going up to Port Canaveral, staying in a hotel that night, and then the next day hopping on. So back to back means you're staying on the same cruise ship, right? Getting off, coming back on. Side to side means you're continuing cruising. There's no gaps in between your cruises, but you're jumping on a new ship. And then there's, just going to a new cruise ship like I'm going to be doing with MSC Meraviglia. If I was hopping on the same day, then that would still be considered a side to side. I'd just be going up to Orlando. So, but most of my switching cruise ships, if they're not in the same port, I have booked them with a day in between for travel to get to them because I don't want to miss my cruise because of that. Okay, let me see. Orlando is inland. How does that work? It's Port Canaveral. Just like they say London Cruise Port, but it's really Southampton. Cruise ships do that, basically so you know where to fly into. Okay. Do you keep your cabin and things during the custom check? So there's two ways to do this. If you're booking back-to-back cruises on a ship, and you can get the same cabin, your stuff will just stay in there. If not, you'll pack it up and they'll move it to your next cabin. The cabin stewards will move it to your next cabin. In my case, I travel carry-on only. I had all my stuff hanging up. If I roll my stuff up, and so I have to, it'll get all wrinkly, and then I have to spray it down with water for it to get unwrinkly. And so I asked them if I could just leave it all on hangers, and they said yeah, and they moved it on hangers to my next cabin. I did that. So my first 7-day cruise on here, I was in a different cabin than I'm in now, and now I booked this cabin. This cruise I booked now is a 14-day. It's 2 7-day cruises, but I booked it as a 14-day, so I'm in that same cabin the whole time. So my stuff just stayed in that cabin. But originally I was in a different cabin. They moved my stuff to my new 14-day cabin. And even though we had to get off the ship because this is technically 2 7-day cruises that I booked as a 14-day cruise, my stuff will just stay in that cabin. So there we go. Okay, question, what do you do for health insurance? So I have health insurance through Humana, just normal health insurance. I mentioned this earlier. I'll run through it really quick, but if you go back in the video, you'll see the answer to this question. My credit card is Chase Sapphire Reserve. I get $10,000 trip insurance, $10,000 trip insurance for any trip under 50 days or under. I also get evacuation insurance that's up to $100,000 as long as I'm 100 miles away. It's either 100 or 150 miles away from my place where I live. So, if I had to be medically evacuated from somewhere. for whatever reason, for a medical reason. So I usually don't elect to get the cruise provided insurance, but I don't, do your research. Don't take my advice on that. Check what your credit card is, call them up, make sure you're covered. Don't travel without insurance. I would never recommend doing that. Who has better food, the Navy or a cruise ship? That's a pretty easy one to answer, the cruise ship. The food on cruise ships are phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Travel with Paris says, hello, aloha, Kevin, aloha. The chat's moving so quick, I still don't know how those gifted memberships happen, but I think Kaylee did it. So thank you, Kaylee. If you are on the ship, okay, so Jojo says, if you are on the ship, even though you're still in Florida, does it pick up the ship's signal so you get charged big bucks? So you get free internet on the ship to use their app. So you'll get basic internet on the ship. And then you have to elect to pay for the paid version. Kind of like at a hotel, you have to opt into it. So just being on the network isn't going to get you charged. And you're gonna be on the network anyway, so your app works on the ship. Most of the cruise lines nowadays have apps that you have to use on the ship. Like Princess is great. Like this is medallion technology, and so my door opens automatically when I walk up to my cabin. It's completely cashless on here. They know it's me when I order something. I can order with the app and it'll be delivered. If I wanted to get that black and blue French onion soup right now from the Crown Grill, I could order it on the app and it'll be here sitting on this table, within 10, 15 minutes. So it's great. We just got a new channel member. Jason C, thanks Jason for joining. Will your mom join you on cruise? That's LB. Yes, my mom will join me on some cruises. I don't know if she'll be in any videos. She doesn't like that kind of stuff, but we'll see. Your Mojo says, what type of mofundo? It looked very good. So I had vegetable mofundo, but you can get seafood mofungo. Seafood mofungo, you can get chicken mofungo. I showed that in the video, all kinds of mofungo. I got the vegetables and they were really good. A lot of people gave me crap for getting vegetables, but that's okay. Caroline says, wait for South America, Kevin. You will love the barbecue from Argentina or Chile, definitely. I lived in Chile for a little while. I lived in Santiago. I love Chilean barbecue. Any experience with MSC? No, but I will be on MSC Meraviglia in a week. So I will have some MSC stuff to talk about. And then I'm going on MSC either Seaside or Seashore. I can't remember which one. Either Seaside or Seashore in May for 2 weeks. I'll be on Meraviglia for 11 days. Get your mom to join the live stream. Oh no, I would never do that. She would embarrass the crap out of me. She should come prepared with baby pics. Yeah. Ooh, staterooms are ready. My stateroom was already ready.
On behalf of all Sky Princess teammates, we wish you a wonderful cruise on board, and we're all looking forward to helping create lasting memories.
Box Van D says, besides van life, traveling, and cruising, what else is on my bucket list? I would love to get a sailboat, get proficient at sailing, and do some travel that way. If you ask a question and I did not get it, ask it again. This chat moves really, really quick, and it's hard for me to get to it. Thanks for all the thumbs up. We got 200 thumbs up. That's amazing. Caroline says, Kevin, greetings to you and your mom. Thank you. My mom might be on here. I don't know. The chat's moving so fast. I have no idea. What type of muster drill? So I mustered in the first cruise, so I don't have to do it anymore. I'm covered since I'm doing back to back to back. But the muster on here is actually pretty easy. So you watch the video, you can watch it on your phone and it'll show up as you did it, or you can go to your stateroom and watch it on your TV. which is also connected to the medallion. And then you go and find your muster station, which are, I think they're all on 6, maybe 7, 6 and 7. And you go and you scan in this medallion, and it registers you as knowing where your muster station is. And that's it. Super simple. You can even watch the muster thing if you can connect to the medallion net, and you probably can inside the cruise terminal while you're waiting to board. You can connect and watch the video. That's what I usually do. The video is about, I don't know, 5 minutes long, maybe a little longer. I usually go on a cruise a year. Love it. What cruise line do you like the most? So, Jason, I'm new to cruising, so I can't really give you an answer to that. I'm gonna be on 5 different cruise lines in the next, I don't know how many months. What is it? February, March, April, May, June, July. In the next 4 months, I'll be on 5 different cruise lines, so I'll be able to give you a better answer in the future. I really love Princess. But my frame of reference is very small. I'm new to this. I've done cruising in the past. I was in the Navy, so I've done a lot of those kind of cruises. I have over 10 years at sea. And I can tell you that Princess is definitely better than a Navy ship. But I don't have a whole lot of cruising background. But I would say at this moment, Princess is my favorite. But that could change. We'll see. Your mom isn't on here. She always announces herself. Yeah, that's true. Are you going anywhere where there's a risk of pirates? Maybe when I go over to the Middle East, if we end up going to the Suez Canal. But these ships are pretty secure. I can't see a pirate wanting to take over a cruise ship this size. That'd be really hard to manage. And there are security details on here. They probably want softer targets than something like this. I would imagine. And there's not a whole lot of cash on these things because so much is cashless now. They'd probably want a big oil tanker with a bunch of oil on it. I think itself. Oh, I just made someone a moderator on accident. But Cheryl, you're a member, so I don't care. If I got to kick you out of being a moderator, I will. What will be the longest waiting period between cruises? 2 days so far is my longest waiting period. Hopefully it stays that or lower. I don't like waiting. Let's see. Do you book cruises through one travel agent? I don't use any travel agents. I mentioned this earlier. I like to book. I wanted to learn the booking process and how to find good deals for solos. And I've noticed that most travel agents aren't that great with solos. They don't know a whole lot about it. And they don't necessarily get you the best deal because they just don't have a lot of experience. There are some that specialize in solos and maybe they're better. But I wanted to figure out how to find the best deals for solos. And in order to do that, you got to do it yourself. I wanted to know the ins and outs of all that stuff. And so that I've been doing it that way. At some point, I'll probably work with the travel agent if I continue cruising beyond a year. I'll probably work with a travel agent just to manage it because it's a lot to manage, especially when you start having cruise cancellations. Knock on wood, I haven't had any of those. But yeah. Any preference on Arabic food? Arabic food. I mean, you can't beat a good falafel, you know? I don't know a lot of the names of the stuff, but I love, that Mediterranean style Arabic food, Greek and Turkish and Algerian. I love that food. I love food from all over. Are you doing any NCL cruises? Yeah, I'll be on NCL Getaway in May. I'll be in a studio cabin. I was actually supposed to be 30 days on an NCL cruise, but that cruise fell through. It was a Panama Canal cruise followed by an Alaskan cruise. I was gonna be on there 30 days, but it fell through. Edna says, thank you for your service. Cruises when you did serve in the Navy, on what ship? I was in the Navy 20 years. I was on lots of ships. Reuben James, Cromlin, USS LaSalle, USS Ronald Reagan, USS Abraham Lincoln, USS Theodore Roosevelt. I was on a ton of ships. I could go on for days. And if, again, ask a question and I will get to it. So do you plan your cruise monthly? So basically what I do is I just look for deals. And usually when you're a last minute booker like me, because I'm not booking like a year out or more, like a lot of people do to get deals. I'm booking slow, I'm booking short term out. Usually after final payment date, you'll get some drops, and maybe within a month of the cruise. You got to be careful with that though, because sometimes the cabin you're interested in will sell out, so you got to be real careful with that. Like my Fire and Ice cruise, which is 33 days from Fort Lauderdale, ends in London, goes all over Iceland, all over the Norwegian fjords at the top of Norway. That cruise, I booked it about a month ago, or it recently fell $300. So had I waited, I would have been able to get it for $300 cheaper. I am going to call Princess to see if they can give me onboard credit for that difference. But yeah, usually I'm booking, right now I'm booked through the end of June. And I'm looking for cruises at the end of June now. End of June, early July, out of London actually, out of London and Europe. So I'm looking for those now, and those are starting to come into the 120 90-day window where final payment is due. And yeah, so USS LaSalle days were great. Who's that? Traveling with Lay? Oh yeah, you were on, I always forget you were on LaSalle, out of Gaeta, Italy. That was the best duty station. I lived in Gaeta, Italy for 2 years, stationed on a U.S. Navy ship called the USS LaSalle. Yeah, Andrea books a year out. She's booked on a Hawaii cruise. She's trying to get me to book it, but it's way too early for me. Speaking of like cruise deals, like there's a cruise right now to Hawaii, 16-day cruise out of, I think it's a Princess cruise out of LA or San Francisco. It's $1,000 for a solo, $1,000, 16-day cruise. You can find cruise deals. It leaves sometime in March. How were you able to determine that your ship was doing a round trip? I mean, that'll be in the booking. I use Cruise Plum, which shows you, whether it's round trip or start and finish point. So it's like I have a cruise that starts in Fort Lauderdale, ends in London. It's a 33-day cruise. I think we're going to 17 ports. And then I have a cruise from LA to Tokyo. And you can see that, like, round trips will usually have a little round arrow on the bottom of them, like a little, and they'll only have like one port. It'll say like out of Fort, where it leaves out of Fort Lauderdale. But I use Cruise Plum because it's just a great search engine for solo travelers. That's why I use it. A lot of people mentioned Vacations to Go, but it doesn't have the functionality. It's good, but it's not as good in my experience. But it is a good starting point. I know people love Vacations to Go, but I think Cruise Plum is better. For searching, it's better. Andrea said some of us work full time. I'm sorry, Andrea. I'm sorry. Can you show us the view? So we are in Fort Lauderdale right now. So it's not, whoop, gave you a view of my big head. Right? It's just a view of Fort Lauderdale. There's some ships over there. There's a Carnival and an MSC. And then these are people chilling at the pool. Tila saying she worked on Pride of America, which is, for you guys that don't know, that's a cruise ship out of Hawaii. Diane says Alfredo has the best cruise pizza. It is good. I ate there the other day. Alfredo's is like a restaurant on board that you don't have to pay for. It's a specialty restaurant that you don't have to pay for, and they just make amazing pizza. If you go look at my video 2 videos ago, you'll see Alfredo's and there'll be a guy spinning pizza in it. Any plans to cruise Southeast Asia? Yep. Yeah, Gator, I will be cruising. How you doing, by the way, my friend? I will be cruising south. I'll be cruising Asia, a lot of Asia, actually. I'll be cruising out of Singapore a lot. Question says, can you do a video on how to find cruises? Yeah, I actually have a video on how to find cruises. There's a video about like how much did I pay for this cruise, I think it's called. And in that video, I kind of show like how I find cruises. But I should probably do a video that's just titled that. Andrew says, I got to work to pay for my cruise addiction. How does one stay fit? So it's actually easy to stay fit on a cruise ship. For the same reason it's easy to get out of shape. So you have unlimited food. So obviously it's easy to get out of shape. But on the other side of that, the flip side of that coin is you have unlimited healthy food. There's always, grilled chicken. There's always a salad bar. There's always tons of fresh fruit, fresh food. You don't have to cook it. There's salmon. There's like all kinds of things. So it's not like at home where, you got to cook the salmon, you got to cook the chicken. You have unlimited access to healthy options right at your fingertips. Where if you're, so it's easy to stay healthy or to not stay healthy because you also have unlimited desserts on board. What else? I had another answer to that question. As far as being in shape, they have a running track on here. They have a state-of-the-art gym, amazing gym, free weights. They have classes on board. Princess is trying to go to that health kick, so they offer a lot of fitness classes. And if you're not mobility challenged, I'd never take the elevator. I always walk everywhere. I always take the steps, and I end up with anywhere from 10 to 20,000 steps a day. Usually closer to 20,000 steps a day. I actually have lost 7 pounds since I started cruising. Unlimited lobster tail and snow crab legs. That is, I think now if you get more than 2 lobster tails, they charge you $5 now, I think. That might only be on Carnival. I don't know if it's on here. Someone said MSC ran out of lettuce. Yikes. Someone's been binge watching my channel. Thank you. Kevin, you can be healthy, coach. It's on you to pick what you eat. Yeah, absolutely. I just booked Alaska in October on NCL, Bliss in a studio. That's awesome. Which one was I on? I think I was on Joy. I was going to be on Joy. Have you tried the escargot? I have not, but I was sitting at a table with Andrea here, and one of our table mates got the escargot. I did not. I need to try it. I heard it's really good. I should try it. Okay. If you have a question, ask it again. I'm sorry I missed it. My chat moves really quickly. I've already been going for an hour and a half. I can't even believe that. And we've got 150 people in here, 212 thumbs up. It's awesome. If you haven't smashed it yet, please smash it. Kevin won't do the escargot. Yeah, I wouldn't at night, but I think I will in the future. I was kind of on a diet, so I didn't want to. It was kind of smothered in sauce. Elvis says, did you miss us? Yeah, of course. Again, if you have a question, type it in there, ask it again. It would be much more difficult for me to try to find your question in the chat. Order a drink on your app. I'm using the phone, Andrea, for this live stream, so I would have to exit out of this live stream to do that. So I won't be doing that at the moment. Escargot on Sky Princess is great, says Michael. 1.5 hours is nothing. Yeah, for those that have been following my YouTube channel for a while, when I was doing van life, sometimes I would be out in the middle of nowhere and I would do 6-hour live streams. Yeah, I actually think I had a live stream that was 8 hours at the Tampa RV show a couple years ago. We definitely won't be doing that today. I have my I have my wireless mic hooked up, so I don't have this thing charging. So at some point it's going to tell me my battery's running low. Hello from Bristol, UK. You looking forward to being in Southampton? I am, Tim. I'm excited to get over to England and sail out of there for a little while. My 33-day cruise actually stops in England halfway through at Southampton, picks up some passengers. It's really 2 cruises in one. So I'm excited about that. How do you feel about Thailand after being gone for so long? I love Thailand. I'll be in Thailand again this year. I got to go renew my driver's license. I have a 20-year visa to Thailand, so I will be living in Thailand. And the great thing is there's a great cruise port there, near there, out of Singapore. And there are also cruise ships that visit Thailand and go out of Thailand. So there's a bunch of cruise ships that cruise out of Singapore. Royal Caribbean has one of their flagships there. Looks like some good port stops, says Traveling Frogman. What's going on? If you guys haven't checked out his YouTube channel, go check it out. He's also a fellow retired Master Chief like me, Navy Master Chief. He was a Navy SEAL though, so you know, much bigger jump, much higher level of respect. If you watch those old videos on those old documentaries on Navy SEAL training, he's in those videos. Those like you know, National Geographic shows, or you know, whatever company did it, Discovery Channel. He's actually one of the guys in there training people in SEAL training. So check out his channel and subscribe to him. He's been putting out a lot of videos lately. Let's see. Catch you later, Carolina. Do you ever get depressed when you meet people and they get off the boat while you stay on? I don't know about, I wouldn't use the word depressed. I don't get depressed, but like I miss Andrea. I wish Andrea was still running around. She sat at the same spot. Her and her friend Deb sat at the same spot every day. And so every time I walk past that spot on Sky Princess, I'm always like, oh, I wish Andrea was still here. Are you having lots of fun on my cruise? Says Hildy. How you doing? I think it's Hildy's birthday today. Happy birthday, Hildy. But yeah, I don't get depressed. Yes, I'm having lots of fun on the cruise ship. I love it. It's relaxing. It's fun. It's all your needs are taken care of. You know, the stewards are great. The cabin stewards are great. The cabin attendants. The staff on here is amazing. It's just great. It's great. Coming late, are you still able to do 100-day bookings? Yeah, a lot of my cruises tossing are under $100 a day, especially MSC, and some of my Princess you can get pretty affordable right now for solos. A lot of the solo supplements are only 10%. I am going to places that are going to push it up more to $120, $130, $140 a day, but that's by choice. I can easily stay under 100 if I stuck with the Caribbean, Alaska at the beginning and the end of the season. I originally had a couple Alaskan cruises booked until I got that Fire and Ice cruise. Sorry, got the hiccups. I had some Alaska cruises booked, and they were like $70-something a day. I had back-to-back Alaska cruises because they were early in the season through Princess, and that was solo rate with gratuities. So I could definitely stay on that $100 a day, and if I went overseas, cruising with MSC, obviously, and P&O, cruise lines like that, I could easily keep it at that $100 a day. But it will be going up a little bit because I'm doing some more like cool destination type cruises, like I'm doing the Fire and Ice cruise, which goes to Halifax, and then it goes up to a bunch of places in Iceland, 3 or 4 cruise ports in Iceland, and then up to the Norwegian fjords, like 12 different ports up there, and Svalbard, which is the highest inhabited place above the Arctic Circle, so far above Alaska, you wouldn't even believe how high it is above the top of Alaska. So yeah, be good fun. Do you find the inside cabins dark and confining? Not at all, Nana, to be honest with you. Especially on Princess, because they have those mirrors and stuff. I don't really spend a whole lot of time there, so it's really just to sleep. And I actually prefer the inside cabins because they're like caves at night. I have my AC turned all the way down, so it's like super cold and super dark, and the ship is rocking back and forth, and you just sleep like a baby. It's like you're in the womb or something. And yeah, I actually really enjoy it out, and I don't spend a lot of time there. I do have some cruises coming up where I'll have balconies, but it's not a thing it's not something I really need, to be honest with you. I mean, I have a balcony right now. You know, I got a beautiful view of port here. So yeah. All right, let's see where we are question-wise. Again, if you have a question, retype it, and I will answer it. Would you consider freighter travel? You know, I was in the Navy for 20 years, and I lived on Navy ships for most of that. And so, to be honest with you, probably not. I like this life. I like being able to jump on the app and order black and blue French onion soup. So I don't think I'd do freighter cruising. Maybe I'll do it just as an adventure one time, but I don't think I would do it long term. Are you back to back now? If not, when did you get on the ship today? Yeah, I'm back to back. We had to get off and get back on to clear customs, but yeah, I'm back to back. If the ship is rocking, it doesn't mean anything. It's pretty much always right. That's a true statement. Especially the last couple cruises we've got some pretty rocky seas. Hasn't been uncomfortable, but there's definitely motion. What's the name of the app you use to navigate? The app I use to navigate? I'm not sure what you mean by navigate. I mean, I use Google Maps. If you're talking about on ships, every cruise line has their own app, and Princess has an app that you can do everything with. They have this medallion technology. You don't get a cruise card, you get a medallion. I actually bought this. You can buy like different jewelry to put them in, but I got this off Amazon that hooks to my watch that holds my medallion. And it's going to be really tough going back to a cruise card my next cruise. I love these medallions. Your door automatically opens when you walk up to it. You can order food with it. It's complete. Everything's cashless on this ship. They just know who you are by your medallion, and they charge your room if you're getting something that gets charged. If I order something on the app, like I order a latte right now, it'll come up from where they make coffee, and they'll bring it to me. Wherever I am on the ship, they can find me. It's great. It's great technology. It's amazing. On back-to-backs, after going through customs, are you able to go right back to your room, or do you have to wait until your room is ready? So it depends on if you're staying in the same room. If you're staying in the same room, you can go back there. No one's going to stop you. If you are switching rooms, then you'll have to wait till rooms are cleared. Like, rooms are already cleared. They cleared about, I don't know, you guys heard it on the announcements, it was about 30 minutes ago. So everyone can go to their room right now if they want. Most people are eating though, because it's lunchtime. So I already ate though before I started this because I knew I would get hungry. Yeah, the doors are awesome. It doesn't automatically open, it automatically unlocks. So you don't have to do a card or anything. It detects your medallion and unlocks as you walk into the door. It's usually unlocked way before you put your hand on there. Someone said, I'm closing in on 100,000 subs. Yeah, we'll see what happens, you know. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years, so, you know, and I have no idea how people are going to respond to my cruise content. If I'm going to get new subscribers to that, if I'm going to lose subscribers that don't care about cruising, you just never know. Thank you for sharing your life with us dreamers. I dream of living on a ship. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. To be honest with you, you never know, because every year, for those that are new to my channel, every year I've traveled a different way. My first year I traveled in a group program called Remote Year. My second year I traveled in and I lived in a different country every 30 days. My second year, I traveled in a van across the United States. My third year, I lived in Thailand, rented a motorcycle, drove around Thailand, and this year I'm traveling on cruise ships. I'm going to be honest with you, I really like it, but that doesn't mean I won't switch it up in a year. But if I really like it and I'm enjoying it, I will continue. Did you buy any cruise stock? Yeah, so I bought Carnival stock because when I bought it, it was $7 a share. So I bought 100 shares. And for those who don't know, if you have 100 shares of the different cruise lines, when you go on board the ship, you'll usually get onboard credit, so they'll give you money on board to spend. And so, yeah, up with Princess up to $250 depending on the length of your cruise. Finwest says, aloha, what about the girls? Are there many chances to meet some females, not senior citizens, but younger? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all kinds of people cruise. You know, it's just like anywhere else. You're with a bunch of people, and it's just like any other kind of travel. You can meet people to have fun with, to party with. You can meet people to go on excursions with, to scuba dive with, to do knitting with, to whatever you want to do, to date. You can do all of the above. It's just like anything else, in my opinion. I mean, I've been nomadic for over 4 years, so dating's hard for someone like me anyway. That's nomadic. Dating is hard if you're nomadic. How do you know you own stock? Where do they indicate that? I mean, you buy stock with your broker. So whoever your broker is. Let's see. Let's cruise through here. What was my rate in the Navy? I was a YN, and then at the E8 level, I went Command Senior Chief, Command Master Chief. So the last 8 years of my career, I was a Command Senior Chief, and then Command Master Chief, mostly in aviation squadrons. I was a F-18 Command Master Chief. F-18 Squadron Command Master Chief. Most exciting port in your future? I would say the Norwegian fjords. Those are the ones I'm most excited about. How does the cruise ship know you own the stock? So you can get the statement and you can either fax it to them or you can email it to them. They have an email. They all have emails. You just email it to them and you say, here's proof that I own the stock. You print out a statement and it'll show. I would like to apply it to the following bookings. And then you put the bookings in there. Like you should put that in the subject line, like the bookings that you want to apply it to. That's what Princess told me when I did it, when I sent it off. So I don't know if you have to do it for each booking, but who cares? It's free money, right? Just send an email. But a lot of people fax it as well. I send email. Is there pickleball on board? Yes. There's a huge basketball court on board this ship. A huge basketball court area. It's actually pretty amazing. It's like an arena basketball court. But they also convert into pickleball in the pickleball courts. So, and that's primarily what they're used for. I could almost guarantee there's pickleball going on right now. There's pickleball tournaments every day, ton of pickleball. So if you're into pickleball, you can do pickleball. Besides jazz, what are your other favorite activities to do on board? So I love live music. So there's tons of live music on here. Right now we have a steel drum player that's amazing, and he'll do like steel drum performances and play like modern songs on steel drums. It's pretty awesome. There's a violinist duo on board, and so I'll go watch the violin duo. There's a guitar player who sings. He's kind of like, I don't know, like Jason Mraz or something like that. He does a lot of pop music. He does a lot of older music too, like acoustical old music. But and then there's a jazz band, and then there's like a full band that'll probably start playing pretty soon for Sail Away. And then there are shows. There are currently 4 shows on here. There's a comedian. There's a couple of the princess shows, and then there's I think the Elton John performer is still on here, a guy who basically looks like Elton John and does all Elton John performances. He's on board, so you can go watch those shows. And there are things going on every single day. There's trivia, there's pickleball tournaments, there are whatever you can think of, they have it on here. There's all kinds of contests, there's all kinds of, and then of course there's lounging around the pool. Princess has movies under the stars. Like right over there's a huge movie screen, and right now they're playing Hall & Oates concert, but they'll play movies on there at night, and you can sit in here and watch the movies. Tomorrow they'll have the Super Bowl on, and it's great because down here is the Salty Dog Grill, which makes the most amazing nacho fries and chili cheese dog, and you can just order it and they'll bring it up to you if you're sitting up in the upper level or right here and watching the game. They'll bring it over to you. You order it on the app and they bring it to you, or you can walk up and get it. There's also Slice on this deck, so it's just about anything you can dream of. And we're pulling into a port almost every single day. We have one sea day at the beginning, and we're pulling into a port almost every single day. So every day there's opportunities to do things in ports. I personally prefer cruises that have more sea days. I like a sea day or two between ports personally, but some people like port to port to port. That's one thing I'm learning in the Caribbean is in the future I'll probably book longer cruises that have days in between ports. I have one coming up that's going to be really cool, St. Thomas, St. Kitts, St. Neves, everything with a saint on the front of it we're going to. And they have days in between, which I'm excited about. Andrea says, go to the World Orchestra performance. Yeah, they'll take a bunch of musicians off the ship. There's tons of musicians on board. But I like live music, so I really like going to the different venues and watching the live music. Kevin, in general question, have you been keeping up your dividend investing? Yeah, FinWest, I've been dividend investing since 1994. I do it every single month. I will never stop doing that. I quit making the channel because even though I told people a million times to do their own research and like what dividend growth investing is, like you're buying it to hold it for 20 years, they complained every time they lost money because I said something about it. Stop. And so I just quit doing it because I don't want to be responsible for that. But there are plenty of YouTube channels that are really good about dividend growth investing, and I will never stop dividend growth investing. It's one of the reasons I can do what I do, because I've been doing it since 1994, and I have substantial dividend income coming in every month. Do you have a recommendation for a cruise that leaves out of California? I mean, there's a ton of Princess cruises that leave out of San Francisco and LA. I don't have any recommendations, Hakeem, because I just haven't been doing this long enough to make a recommendation. I enjoy Princess, some people don't enjoy it, but there are tons of cruises that cruise out of San Francisco, LA, Vancouver, Seattle, so all over the West Coast. You can do Alaskan cruises, you can do Hawaiian cruises, you can do Mexican Riviera cruises, you can do Panama Canal cruises out of there. So there are a ton. If you go back, you can watch my Panama Canal cruise that I did out of San Francisco. So, yeah. If you asked a question and I missed it, please ask it again. The chat on my phone it doesn't cooperate with scrolling back up. So, yeah, it is great to see Hakeem. I haven't seen Hakeem in a while, but I haven't done a live stream in a while either. So, I haven't seen a lot of you in a while. Thanks for those of you that stuck with me for so long. Thanks for sticking with me. How do you cover the crew appreciation? So, with Princess, you can prepay it. That's what I do. And I also tip my cabin steward, and I carry a bunch of ones. And I usually, if I order something, I'll tip whoever brings it to me. You don't have to do that, but I prepay my crew appreciation. If not, it'll be applied to your account when you get on board. But I normally prepay it because I consider that a cost of the cruise. And for Princess, it's $15 a day, I want to say, the crew appreciation. And then I'll usually tip my stateroom guy $10 to $15 a day. Kevin JC asked if booze is included with the cruise. So I do not get drink packages because I don't drink enough. For me, I did the calculation. I would have to drink 6 alcoholic beverages a day to break even, and I don't. So I just pay when I have an alcoholic beverage. They're usually $6 to $12, depending on what you get. I usually get a bourbon and blood, which is like a bourbon and an orange liqueur, and I think it's $8. And maybe I'll do one of those every other day or whatever, depending on, the battle rhythm of the cruise. But if you're going to drink a lot, get a drink package. A lot of times they'll roll packages in with a bunch of other stuff, like it'll be drink package, internet. The thing I do pay for though is the coffee package, which is $30. It gets me 15 specialty coffees, so $2 a coffee. If I want to just pay out of my pocket, it'd be $4 a coffee. But you can get normal coffee if you drink normal coffee. I drink like butter pecan lattes and chocolate chip cookie dough lattes and stuff like that. I drink the Starbucks stuff. So for me, it just makes sense to do that. Is there any worry about COVID? Yeah, I mean, there always is. I have a friend that was on the last cruise that I was on that contracted COVID. I mean, who knows if she got it from the plane or from here. If you've been following me for a while, you know I have the vaccine, I'm double boosted, and I've had COVID 3 times. So, are you going to do, or no, 2 times, COVID 2 times, sorry. All right, am I going to do a world cruise? Your Mojo asks. Probably not at this point because I want to try different ships, different cruise lines, different itineraries. Maybe in the future I would, but I enjoy switching ships, switching it up. But I do, to be honest with you, I'm 30 and a wake up. I actually like being on ships for 30 days. I wish I would have booked this one for 30 days. I booked this one for 14 days originally, and then I added 7 days on the beginning. I started my 1-year cruise adventure 7 days early. If the 14 day was available, I would have done it 14 days early, but it wasn't available. So, where was I going with that? But yeah, I'll be on MSC Meraviglia soon for 11 days, and then I'm on Enchantment of the Seas, which is Royal Caribbean, for 28 days. And then I'm on Caribbean Princess for 28 days. And then I'm on NCL Getaway for 10 days, and then MSC either Seaside or Seashore for 14 days. And then I'm on Island Princess for 33 days, and then probably another cruise for 28 days. I haven't booked it yet though. So I want to stay on cruise ships a little bit longer because I don't like having to switch cruise line, or I don't like having to switch so much. But I do want to switch it up at least every month, every 3 weeks to a month. So I could do a world cruise in the future maybe, but I actually like trying out the different ships. Like one of my new goals is to sail on every Princess ship. And also one of my other goals is to get the highest status on every single cruise line. So I will actually be the highest status on Princess. After this cruise, I'll be the second highest status, Platinum, which is what I care about because I get half price off internet, off Wi-Fi, which is the benefit that matters. And then the next level, I'll get free laundry, which for me is not that big of a deal because I don't like people washing my merino wool because I'll ruin it. So I usually do all my laundry myself because they have laundry facilities on board. And if they don't, if I'm on a cruise line that doesn't have that, then I'll just sink wash my merino wool, and then I'll send out my shorts are like cotton. I don't mind sending those out. But yeah, where was I going? Where was I going with that? I can't remember what the initial question was. I do that all the time. If you watch me for a while, I go off on tangents. Good luck catching Super Mario. I won't catch him. I don't mean the highest, like I'm the highest on the cruise. For those that don't know, Super Mario is the most cruiser on probably every cruise line, but on Royal specifically, he has almost 10,000 days, cruise days. I mean the highest level. I don't mean the highest person. So I'm really close with Princess. I already have the highest level on MSC because they matched my Hilton Honors, which I had the highest level on. They matched that. They gave me the highest level. So yeah. And then after I do my month on Royal, I'll be the 3rd highest level. So, but one of my goals is also to travel on every Princess ship. There you go. Do you use an agent or do you book yourself? I book myself at the moment. I mentioned this earlier. I want to learn how to find solo deals. And to be honest with you, most travel agents that I have been in contact with don't really know how to find solo deals. They're set up for double occupancy. That's what they normally do business with. And so I'm actually better at this point than most travel agents at finding solo deals. At some point, I probably will get a travel agent to transfer my bookings to after I book them, so they can manage them if things change. But yeah. Andrea's diamond on MSC. I'm diamond on MSC as well, and I've never been on an MSC cruise, but that's because I'm diamond on Hilton, and I was able to get. MSC will match your highest level on hotels, cruises, airlines. I don't know how long that'll last, so if you have a high level, just get it. And you have to take a cruise, I think, within 24 months to maintain it. But yeah, what was your rate in the Navy? I was a YN. Actually, for a very short period, I was a CTA, and then I went leadership route. I don't know if they had that when you were in the Navy, but I became a command senior chief, so a CMDCM, CMDCS, and then I went command master chief, so CMDCM. At the 12-year mark. So my last 8 years in the Navy, I was a command senior chief, command master chief. Aviation mostly, I was an F-18 squadron, command senior chief. How stable are those cruise ships in rough seas? They're pretty stable. They have what's called fin stabilizers. They're pretty stable. I mean, compared to some of the small ships I was on in my early Navy days. Some people think it's rocking and rolling. Like, I don't think it's rocking and rolling at all. These ships are so big, it's hard to really make them move a lot. You have to have some really big swells, and these ships try to steer away from that stuff. Yeah. Are smaller Celebrity and Holland cruise lines planned? Yeah, I'll be on Celebrity and Holland. Interested in more classic cruise experience? I mean, I'm on Princess, which is a pretty classic cruise experience for the most part. I'm on one of their newer ships now, Sky. But if you watch my old videos, I was on Ruby, which is an older ship, 2007. I guess it's not super old. And I'll be on Island, which is an even older ship than that. Are you having a sea day as the last day? Yeah, usually sea days are the last day of the cruise, and we are having a sea day as the last day. And someone said Celebrity in Holland. Yeah, I'll be on. I have a Celebrity booked, and I will try to get on Holland. I definitely want to do Holland. What I like about Holland and Princess is they have a lot of really cool itineraries. Like Royal Caribbean is 90% Caribbean, but they have really cool ships. Princess and Holland America have really cool itineraries, like to Antarctica, to like, Trinidad, Tobago, to Pago Pago, Samoa, all over the world type of cruises. But I will be on Celebrity for sure, and I'm trying to get a Holland book. Do you foresee Itinerary passing through Hawaii? Possibly. We shall see. I might do a Hawaiian cruise, actually. How do you find the best solo deals? I use a website called Cruise Plum. It's not a travel agent website. You can't book through them. It's just a search engine, and you can search by solo price, which is great. They have these little search engines for you, like where you can look at solo prices, hot deals, last minute deals, but it's even better to go into the search engine and search by one passenger, and that's where you'll find everything. But you can look at like last minute deals. Like that's where I found that Hawaii cruise for under $1,000 for a solo, 16 days. It was on Hot Deals. Did you enjoy Mexican ports? Yeah, I love Mexican ports. We're going back. I'll be in Costa Maya. I'll be in Cozumel. Yeah. Then we're going to Belize and one more place. I can't remember. Oh, Roatan, Honduras. Yeah, a lot of people like the Love Boat. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm attracted to Princess is, watching the Love Boat. My grandparents used to watch it all the time. And they took me on, Princess Cruise. That's how I know Princess. Yeah, you can get obstructed balconies as well. Yeah. Discovery Princess. Andrea is on that Hawaii cruise. Everyone is invited. There you go. There you go. Do you use travel insurance for medical evacuation coverage? So I have the credit card called Chase Sapphire Reserve. Okay, it's an expensive credit card, $550 a year, but I travel all the time, so it's worth it for me. Plus, you get $300 back. You get $300 back for travel expenses, so it's really $250, and it gives me 2 types of travel insurance. First one is travel reimbursement if my cruise or something is canceled for a bunch of different reasons. $2,000 for a single person, for multiple people it's $20,000. So I can get reimbursed for it. The second is evacuation insurance, up to $100,000 for a solo person on any trip 50 days or under. So none of my cruises are over 50 days, so I'm covered for $100,000. I'm not telling you not to get the cruise insurance, but that's how I'm personally covered. But do your own research on that. I'm not giving any advice. I used to imagine that I was Vicky from the Love Boat. I love Vicky from the Love Boat. There was actually a cruise recently that all the surviving cast members were on the cruise, and I wish I would have went on that cruise. Wish I would have went on that cruise. There's actually a new cruise ship coming out called the Sun Princess. And, the Love Boat, that was the Sun Princess. And so there'll be another namesake, Sun Princess, coming out soon. I'm going to try to get on the inaugural cruise, but it is expensive right now. I don't spend $400 a night. I try to keep it somewhere around $100 a night, all in, counting gratuities. And right now it's like, for a solo passenger, for a double occupancy, it's half that, but for a solo, it's double occupancy price. And so, I don't know. I did get a letter from Princess in my stateroom. I don't let people influence my videos. I'm actually going to do a negative video about Princess and the way they handle solos. But I got a letter in my stateroom the other day, last night actually. I said, "Hey, Kevin, how are you? We found your YouTube channel and we're really excited about your 1 year of cruising and glad you chose some Princess Cruises. Here's the email address for our vice president, here's the email for the president of marketing. Please send her an email. She'd like to talk to you." So maybe they can get me on that inaugural cruise for cheaper. But normally I will never do that. I will never accept freebies because usually freebies come along with hooks. And you guys know that's not what I do. For those of you that have been around me for a while, I don't let anybody get their hooks in me. The only people that I have deals with are like Unbound Moreno, but I was wearing their stuff for 2 years before they even approached me, and they just gave me a discount code so my people could get a discount, and then they give me some money anytime someone buys. But I wear that stuff religiously, so I do their stuff, and then that's it for sponsorships. Although I did put a affiliate link for Princess down below, and all that is if you go and sign up for Princess and book a cruise, they'll give you $25 onboard credit, and then they give me $25 onboard credit. So, it's free money. So, but I'm not affiliated with them. Everybody can get that. You can get that. Everybody can get that referral code. That's something that you get when you have status on the ship. So I do have that referral code, and then Chase Sapphire Reserve, I have a referral code. But I'm not sponsored by any of these people. The only people I have like a back and forth relationship with the CEO is Merino Wool, Unbound Merino, because I wear so much of their stuff that they let me test things out. I've been wearing their pants, their Merino Wool pants on this cruise, and I freaking love them. So, but I actually paid for them. The first pair they sent me for free, and I accidentally ripped them. My own fault. So I just bought another pair myself. I don't like them giving me stuff for free because I like to be honest about stuff. Let's see. Sorry to go on that tangent. Bearded Traveler. I love that name. I should have had that name as a channel name. I'm gonna steal it. Aloha, bro. How's it going? Just logged in from Vietnam. That's awesome, man. It's awesome. You know how much I love Vietnam. Kevin, have you heard about Nat Geo Travels? I have not, but I will check it out. I know Discovery Channel does a lot of excursions on here, and I want to try out some of the Discovery Channel excursions. Do you miss Thailand? Yeah, definitely. I'm moving there in 3 months. Can't hardly wait. I definitely miss Thailand. I'll be there later this year. Hey Kev, I've been on bigger ships with lots of people. How is customer service? It's been great. I'm pretty simple though, man. Like when I hear people complain on cruise, I'm a simple person. I don't need a lot of pampering. And so I only let my steward clean my room 1 time a day. Like they'll try to come in 100 times a day. Every time you're out of the room, they'll try to clean it. I put the do not disturb sign after they do it the first time in the morning. Like I don't like a lot of pampering. Personally, I feel uncomfortable. So I have no issue. I never have issues getting stuff delivered. I order a coffee every single morning, gets delivered to my stateroom and my cabin, and I love it. But yeah, I've had no issues with customer service. I'm on a bigger ship this time. My wife won't cruise because she gets nauseous on boats. So my advice would be to have her try it out. Book ships maybe on times a year where they're flat. Like the Caribbean's always flat. Early in the summer, fall, spring, summer, and have her start taking Dramamine or Bonine the day before she gets on the cruise ship. It does you no good if you take it after you're seasick. So you start taking it before you get on the cruise ship, and I bet she'll be fine. Worst case scenario, she gets seasick and they'll give her a shot in the butt on the ship, and it'll make her go to sleep and she'll have the best sleep of her life. So. Any negatives to cruising? I mean, I don't know if I would call them negatives. You know, I've only been doing this for 14 days full time, so I'm sure there'll be more negatives that come up. I'm an introvert, so I can function on my own. So when the solo stuff's not working out, the solo meetups and stuff, like it doesn't bother me. You can always find someone to talk to. When you go down for dinner at night, ask to be seated with solos or couples that wanted to be seated with other people, and you meet new people. You meet new people constantly on a cruise ship. I mean, a lot of them are in this live stream right now. So, yeah. Someone said, what's the cruise club site? I use Cruise Plum. It's just a search engine like Google. They don't sell you anything. You can't book through them. It's not a travel agent, but I really like them. It's called Cruise Plum. Plum like the fruit. I should not tell everybody about that site because I find so many good deals on there, and I'm like, man, if I keep hyping this thing up. I found that site from another cruise blogger named Traveling with, I can't remember the name of the channel. It always drives me nuts that I forget the name of it because I need to give him props for it. And I'm afraid too many people will find out about it, and all these good deals that pop up on there will be taken up. Gotta quit talking about it. What's the average monthly cost for cruise life? I've been doing it for about $3,000 a month right now. And it's pretty easy in the Caribbean to stay up $3,000. Chase Sapphire card since traveling much during the pandemic, traveling a bunch now. I need to decide the high fee is worth it. So here's what I'll say about the high fee. Number one, it's $550, but you get $300 reimbursed on your travel. So you get $300 back. So it's really $250. And you get free TSA pre-check and the other one, I can't remember the name of it, but you get free TSA pre-check every 4 years, which is $80. So, I mean, it's $250, plus you get priority pass access, so access to lounges in all the airports, and it's great for international travel if you're gonna do a lot of international travel. Plus you get the travel insurance, which I really like, and you get 3 points back on travel and restaurants, and it's exchangeable for 50%. So you really get 4.5 points back. So basically about 4.5% back. And if you use the other Chase cards, they get points for other things, and you can transfer those points into your Chase Sapphire Reserve. So it's a really good deal, I think. It's worth it. It more than pays for itself for me, personally. I haven't paid for a flight or a hotel in 4 years. I always have enough points to pay for those things. So, yeah, I would definitely consider if I was you. Go watch a channel called Ask Sebi, AskSeeby. He'll give you a much better issue. Yeah, Chase Sapphire Reserve is the one I have, not Preferred. I don't know enough about Preferred. It's very similar, and it might have all the same things, bennies, but you got to check on that. It's cheaper, but I don't know exactly what it is. Couple were planning to cruise, would they pay $3,000 a month? Yeah, because you're going to get double occupancy price. I don't know for sure because I've never really researched it. But if I'm getting if I'm able to do the Caribbean at $3,000 a month on, if I'm able to do it on, $3,000 to $3,500 a month as a solo traveler, then double occupancy you should be able to. I would think, but I don't know because I don't do it, so I'm not familiar with it. Question, might you consider sharing pre-travel medical strategies? Yeah, so there are all these places called travel clinics throughout the country, and I just go to them, and I get all the recommended vaccines and shots that they recommend. And so I stay up to date on, the different things. I was in the military for 20 years, so I have a lot of them already. But yeah. Dax, what's going on, man? Me and Dax were in Iraq together. He lives in Florida. I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now, man. Well, it's really Hollywood, I think. But let's see, Preferred doesn't have the lounge access and only a $50 travel credit. There you go. But I think it only costs $95. But if you're going to travel a lot, or you're going to travel a couple months out of the year, I think it's worth it because you can put your regular spend on it whenever you go to restaurants, and your regular spend on the other Chase credit cards, and then just transfer the points over, and it ends up becoming worth it. Plus, I think you get 50,000 for signing up. You get 50,000, which is about $750 of travel credit. So right there is like 3 years of the cost of it. And then I think if you use my link down below, they give you an extra 10,000 points, which is 10,000 points is $100. What's up, Jeff Harrison? How you doing, man? Kevin, you can go to base and they'll screen you and give you travel vax. There you go. That's what I need to do. I need to do that. Have you looked at the Capital One Venture X? I have not. I probably should, but I've had the Chase Sapphire Reserve for so long, and it's always one of the top 2 or 3. I just have stuck with it. I like to keep my life a little less complicated. But if you go out and do research, like with Ask Sebi, he's a good person. He'll be able to tell you which one's better for you. If it's better, then get that one. But the Chase Sapphire Reserve has really worked for me. Where am I cruising from? Do you talk to them if they traveled to where are most of the crew from? I would say it's a mix on this ship. It's a mix of Filipino, Indian, Indonesia, Peruvian. That's like the main, and a lot of the people who are driving the ship are Italian or Swedish or Norwegian. That's just a popular place for cruise ship captains and stuff like that to come from. There's a lot of Australians on board here. But yeah, I would say Sri Lanka. And yeah, I always I met a guy, the other day I was sitting down at the buffet and I saw that someone was from Thailand and he came and like grabbed my plate and I said, "Kap kun kap." And he like looked at me like all astonished that I could speak Thai, and then he tried to speak Thai with me, and of course I can't speak a lot of Thai. So, but now every time I see him in the hallway, I say, "Swadee krap, Swadee krap," and you know whenever he comes over, I say "Kap kun kap." And then the Filipinos I meet, I talk about my time in the Philippines and also Filipino food because I love Filipino food. Hey, there's my buddy Caitlin. By the way, Caitlin, she just did a super chat, which is amazing, and that's not why she's getting this plug. She's getting this plug because she's a homie of mine. Caitlin just started a channel where she's building out a van. So all you van life fans, go over there and subscribe to Caitlin Rose. Get her as many, I don't know if that's her, yeah, get her as many channels as you can get. But thanks, Caitlin. Caitlin's over there in Vegas, living the van life. I met her a long time ago on my van life channel. Yeah, someone's got APMEX Platinum. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones that are really good. But I would go check out Ask Sebi. You know, his stuff is so good on credit cards, especially travel credit cards. So good. Can you spell the name of the guy you recommended? Ask Sebi, and it's either Seeby or Sebby. I think it's Seeby. Ask Sebi. Van life is a rough life. I loved van life. It wasn't rough for me, but I lived in these Gucci vans. But Caitlin is building out a van, so that's always entertaining as fuck. I just said a curse word. That's always entertaining as crap when people are building out a van. I'm planning on building out a van someday, so I will. It'll be a long 6 months. Yeah, bleep. Yeah, I think you can cuss on here. If you ask a question and I missed it, please ask it again. Yeah, my van was super fancy. Both of the ones I got to travel around in. There you go. There's Ask Sebi. Thanks, Kaylee. Kaylee gifted 5 memberships earlier, I think, which was amazing. Thank you, Kaylee. Now you better pray your mom's not in here. Yeah, if my mom heard that, she'd freak out. Chad and Paul stopped van life as well. Yeah, poor Chad and Paul, man. I love their van life content. I gotta go watch their channel. I haven't caught up with what they're doing. We traveled together for a little bit. Oh, Kaylee gifted 10 memberships? Holy crap, Kaylee. That was super sweet of you. Would you ever write a book or consult on travel? I don't know. Maybe I got to talk to my friends that write books, and that's a huge undertaking. Like Melanie, that's on here. I probably wouldn't consult because I don't like selling my time. I like doing what I want to do when I want to do it. So I probably wouldn't consult. If you're still giving memberships, I'd love one. Chad and Paul have mostly dropped off IG too. I mean, they're probably taking a break. Social media is, I mean, it can be pretty daunting. I think YouTube chooses the recipients of the gifted memberships. Is that true? I have no idea. That's a new thing. Just like it's a new thing that you can give super chats on videos that are uploaded, not just live streams. Because one day, all of a sudden, I had all these super chats, and I guess they were on videos that I had uploaded. I was like, what the hell? Oh my God, you should totally get Melanie to write your travel book. Yeah, I mean, if she'll ghostwrite it for me. Hope you're keeping good records on your expenses. Yeah, absolutely. I keep really good records. I have a whole spreadsheet. I showed it in one of my YouTube videos. Go back and look at some of my, my cruise videos. I've only made like 6 of them. I show a spreadsheet. I maintain a spreadsheet of all the expenses, so I'll definitely be able to talk about it. Kevin, you may upload more content to members, not just, you just got 10 crew members. You just got 10. Okay. I don't see, I did not see that. I didn't get a message that happened. I get a message for super chats and when new people join as members, but I didn't get any message about that 10 new people. So hopefully I can see that in my channel memberships and I'll say hi to all of them and obviously I'll thank Kaylee for doing that. That was super sweet of you, Kaylee. You do enough work as a moderator, but that was super sweet of you to do that. We'll have fun to read if Melanie writes. Yeah, it probably would be. When you go to Thailand, how long do you plan to stay? I'm not sure. I have a 20-year visa there, and I have 19 years left on it. So anywhere from 1 day to 19 years. That's what I always say. I have no idea. I'm going to be cruising into that area, and then I need to go renew my driver's license. So probably only a couple weeks. Then I'll probably hop on a cruise ship out of Singapore. Royal Caribbean has one of their massive new cruise ships over there, so I'll probably get on that. I think it's Anthem of the Seas, I think. You bought the Thai Elite 20-year visa. Yes, I did. I originally bought the 5-year, but I upgraded it to the 20 a couple months ago. So, and yes, I was in the Navy for 20 years. Bro, you're seriously living a dream. Yeah, I feel very fortunate that I get to live this life. So fortunate. I definitely acknowledge and very humble about it. Like, I am just thankful every single day about it. So, what ports? So we pull out of the cruise port today, or out of the cruise today, Cheryl, and we're going to Costa Maya, Cozumel, Belize, Roatan, and I think one more. I think it's 5, but I can't remember what it is. But I think it's 5. It might only be those 4. So Honduras, Mexico, Belize. Wait, maybe not. I was gonna say Grand Cayman, but that was last cruise. I don't think we have a Cayman. I think we have maybe Princess's Private Island, which is in the Bahamas. Or no, I think we're going to Nassau. Last cruise, we were supposed to go to Princess Cay, which is part of the Bahamas, but it's a private resort area just for Princess, actually just for Carnival ships, because Carnival owns Princess. But yeah, St. Thomas and St. Martin are in my, they might not be in my next cruise, but they're in the cruise after that with Royal Caribbean. All the Saints are going to be in April. The cover model will be wearing merino wool for sure. You got to wear merino wool. I make pretty decent ad revenue on YouTube. Decent. I mean, it's not breaking any banks, but I actually make a good amount of money off Unbound Merino because people get a 10% discount when they use my code, which is Wake Up now, by the way. But I get 10%, and people always order like a ton of stuff. Like $200 to like $700 worth of stuff, so I get 10% of that. And I get a sale almost every single day off my old merino wool videos. The pants are pretty expensive, but I really like them, but they're pretty expensive. I mean, they're $200+ a pair. So I'm not gonna tell anybody about the pants, but I love them. They're perfect for cruising. And they, you don't have to iron them, I just spray them with this little water bottle. I'm gonna have it in my cruise tips video. I bring in this little water bottle with me that I got off Amazon, and I spray my shirts. I spray my cotton shorts, and all the wrinkles come out of them. I just spray everything down the day I get onto a cruise ship. Spray everything down because it's all wrinkly from being rolled up in my stuff, and all the wrinkles just fall out. Yeah, I mean, Unbound Merino's not expensive, or not inexpensive, but this shirt right here I've had for 3 years, and it looks brand freaking new. So even though the shirts used to be $60, now they're $80. Even though they're $80, they last, 3+ years. Like, and they look like brand new shirts. But it is expensive for a shirt. I know that. I don't ever recommend that people buy it. But I have to change my code all the time because my code gets on Honey, that coupon website. And so then I start making a ton of money. All of a sudden, I start making a ton of money because it's on Honey, and everyone who goes to Unbound Merino is using it. So then they have to reset my code because they're not really getting the traffic from me; they're getting it from Honey, and so it's just not right for me to make a ton of money. Like, get a discount code from Roan. I'll use it. The best commuter clothes. I haven't tried Roan. I like 100% merino wool. And most companies don't have 100%, they have blends. And the problem with blends is when you wear them for multiple days, they will start to smell. Where Unbound Merino will never smell. Costa Maya is, I have you can go to my buddy who he wore an Unbound Merino shirt for 30 days in Thailand and it didn't smell. I wore a Unbound Merino sweater in Spain for 30 days. It might not have been 30, it might have been 21 days. And then I had all my travel mates smell it. It didn't smell. It's great. It's great travel material. And the pants are great too. I love the pants. And they look so dressy. They fit like blue jeans, but they look dressy. So they really work. Like when I have to do like formal night and wear like, Love boat, soon we'll be making another run. We're playing the Love Boat song because we're on Princess, which was the cruise line for the Love Boat. Are you avoiding Hurricane Alley starting in May? So in May, at the end of May, I will be in the Caribbean in May. On the Caribbean Princess, as a matter of fact. No. On Norwegian and one other cruise line. But at the end of May, I'll hop on a cruise ship that goes to Iceland, Norway, and then ends in London, and I'll be in Europe for a few months. So I'm doing 3 months in the Caribbean, 3 months in Europe, 3 months in Asia, and 3 months either in the Middle East or 3 months in South America, or 3 months in the Middle East and then 3 months in South America. So it's gonna work like that. I'm gonna order something real quick. Is there any way I can get a Diet Coke? Yeah, and my stateroom is M425. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, I normally don't drink Coke, but it's really hard for me to get a tea where I'm at. Normally I drink tea, but because of where I'm sitting, I'm doing tea. Please do a punk cover of the Love Boat song. For those that don't know, way back in the day, I used to be the lead singer of a punk rock band called 101 Delta. Let's see. Love Boat. I don't even know how I would do that. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Are they hot? So merino wool works really good in hot climates because it's really breathable. Like I lived in Thailand where it's always 100 degrees and always 100% humidity, and it worked perfect there because they breathe really well. They're also great for cold because they layer well and they perform it's wool. So, but it's got to be. We're not talking about merino wool like a sweater. We're talking about merino wool which is very tightly woven. Almost looks like cotton. Talk more about dress up nights. So there are ships that are more formal. For formal night most nights are smart casual. So just, collared shirt and a pair of slacks for dinner. Everything else you can do in shorts. On formal night, all I wear is a collared shirt, which is merino wool. I got a black collared shirt, and I have a Lululemon blue one as well. And I wear a sport coat, a Bonobo sport coat, and slacks, and I'm good to go. And I wear that on formal night, and I have no issues. I don't know if you guys can hear the music playing because I have this wireless mic on. Will you be on an RCL ship in April visiting all the saints? Maybe we'll be on the same ship. Yeah, I'm on Enchantment of the Seas out of Baltimore. Kevin, I'm giving up soda. Also, Kevin, can I get a Diet Coke? I'm only doing that because of where I'm at. I was gonna order a bourbon and blood, but it's too early to do that. I thought about doing those 1 minute short videos of a cocktail of the day and just drink one cocktail a day and share it with you guys on a short. Yeah, Andrea touched the merino wool. Is there a fridge in your room? Yes, there's a fridge. A kettle to boil water. There isn't on American cruises, but they have them on board, and I requested one and I got one. So I have a kettle because I drink a lot of tea. You can get all the really high-end teas for free in the buffet area, like all the posh British brands. And so I get those and I just bring them down to my stateroom, and I have tea, hot tea multiple times a day. They also have afternoon tea on board at 3 o'clock, and anybody can go. And if you get to a certain level, I think it's elite. If you get to elite level, they will do afternoon tea in your stateroom. Will you be on Voyager out of San Juan? Voyager. No, I don't know what Voyager is. I'm assuming, I think you mean a Virgin Voyager. There's no San Juan this trip, but I just did a video on San Juan. We just left. They found out that you were the Kevin Martin that made that happen. I just asked for it. And it was before anybody knew I had a YouTube channel. I asked my stateroom guy, I said, hey, is there any way to get a kettle? And he said, yeah, because they have them, when this ship goes over to England, they have them, because they have them in all the staterooms in British cruises. Why aren't you considering Mediterranean cruises? I am. I just said I'll be in Europe for 3 months. 3 months Caribbean, 3 months Europe, 3 months Asia, 3 months Middle East, and then probably 3 months South America. I just extended it from 1 year to 13 months, 15 months. I just extended it from 1 year to, on this live stream. Breaking news. We can hear the music. Okay, good. I'm going to get a copyright strike. Most important question of the day. Who do you got, the Eagles or the Chiefs? So I'm a Rams fan because I'm from St. Louis and I just stayed with them when they moved. I am from Missouri, so I should be a Chiefs fan, right? But they have a Super Bowl in the last, well, I guess the Eagles do too. That's a tough one. I guess since I'm from Missouri, I'll go with Kansas City. So many new faces. I love the turnaround days because 90% of the passengers change out. So they have all these new faces running around here. And I get on the Facebook pages for each cruise ship. So I'm on the Sky Princess cruise ship, and I've been posting on there stuff from the last cruise. And so a lot of people are recognizing me as I walk by, because I have a distinct look. I'm bald and with a beard, gray beard. All right, I missed, let's see. What did you not bring on all these cruises that you wish you had brought? Right now, I can't think of anything. I did switch out my water bottle from my packing video to a collapsible water bottle, a BPA-free collapsible water bottle, and that's been so much better for packing. I have too much YouTube equipment. I'm gonna just go with the wireless mic, my phone, and a selfie stick type of thing. I brought like lighting, I brought all kinds of stuff that I really don't need. What do I not have that I can't think of anything. Sorry, that froze because it just told me I only have 20% battery left. So I will take it down to 10% battery, which will probably give me a little bit more time. And yeah. If I missed your question, ask it again. For a supposed introvert, you put a lot of effort into connecting with, at first I thought you said connecting with swingers, connecting with strangers. Yeah, I mean, I am an introvert. I mean, I spend a lot of time alone on the cruise ship. I would say probably 70%. But then when I want to plug into things, you know, I go to the jazz bar, Take 5, and there'll be people sitting around listening to jazz and we'll talk. Or I'll go to, you know, Andrea, I used to go to her table because I always knew she would be there with her friend Deb. And I go and I chat with them about whatever. So yeah. And I'm on all the social medias. I like connecting with the cruise ship things for a couple different reasons. Number one, I'm new to cruise vlogging and it helps me bring in more of an audience, cruise audience, which helps my current videos and new videos about cruising because those people want to watch cruise videos where maybe van life people don't or Thailand people don't. Although Thailand people I would say watch because you can go over to Singapore and get on Anthem of the Seas, which cruises out of Singapore and goes to all kinds of cool places like Bali and all kinds of cool places. And you guys know you can fly over there to Singapore for 20 bucks. So, and it's actually pretty affordable. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. See, boop, delivered.
I'll watch that new one.
I'm on a live stream. Are you okay with being on camera? No? Okay.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. Someone that's watching my channel. They're probably off the Sky Princess website or Facebook page. Yeah, it was awesome to hang with you too, Andrea. Who else had if you had a question, type it again. My chat's moving too fast. Of course, Gator is making fun of what I just said. Always a pleasure to hang with me. Aw, you're too kind. All right, I'm waiting for questions because the comments took a turn south. Hey, if you just got in here and you haven't hit the thumbs up button, I'd appreciate it. We're almost at 250. It'd be awesome to end this live stream with at least 250. You prefer small talk or deep talks? Asks LV. Probably a mix of both. Sometimes small talk, sometimes deep talks. I love talking travel and cruising. So I love I love hearing other people's stories, like hearing Andrea's story about how she started cruising with her husband and how she continued cruising after unfortunately he passed on, how she's solo cruising now. I don't want to put too much of her story out here. Sorry about that, Andrea. But hearing other people's story and then talking about cruising. Like I love talking about Thailand when I'm in Thailand. I love talking about van life when I was van lifing and now, obviously. And I love talking about cruising with people. Cruisers always want to talk cruising, how to find deals, you know, membership. Like I'm Ruby Red on this. I actually should be Platinum. If I would have broke this up into 3 separate cruises instead of 2 separate cruises, I'd be Platinum right now. I would have enough points to be Platinum, which is the second highest level, which gets me free internet, or no, half price internet. Where was I going with that? Next cruise I'll be on MSC, and I'm the highest level with MSC, so I'll get chocolate covered strawberries and a chocolate chip, which I'm super excited about. And they're not hollow chocolate chips, they're like solid chocolate chips. So I'm super excited about. Do you have an itch to van life again? Yeah, I'm always looking to buy a small van that I'm gonna convert. I'm probably gonna, if Johnny's Journey's still on here, I'm probably gonna hire her to convert it for me. Although now she's a pretty hot commodity, I probably be like a 3-year backlog. But I'd like to get a Honda Element and outfit it for van life. In 2023, are they still charging for internet? Yeah. However, a lot of them are switching over to Starlink, which is much cheaper than the internet they have now, and a lot of cruise lines I think are going to start offering it complimentary or maybe part of like loyalty programs. what other cruise ships have you been on? Going on our first Princess ship. I've been on Ruby Princess. So I cruised a long time ago, and then I cruised in 2015 and 2018. So I'm new to cruising, so I'm not great for cruise advice. But I'll tell you what I've been on recently. I've been on Ruby Princess recently, and I love that ship. It's an older ship from 2007. I think it's a Royal class. And now I'm on, well, maybe Sky Princess is a Royal class. I don't know. And now I'm on Sky Princess, which is the newer class of ship. They're getting ready to come out with a new class of ship called the Sun Princess class. And I'm going to get on that ship. I don't know if I'll be on the inaugural cruise. It's too expensive. But I'm going to get on that ship. I want to see the changes. But I really loved Ruby and I loved Sun. I like the old layout better on Ruby than I like on Sun, but the Sun is growing on me and I really like it. It's different. They changed the name of some of the venues, although some of them are familiar. It still has the whole princess look to it. The staterooms on Ruby, which is an older ship, look maybe a little bit more modern on the new one, but they have the same decor. The ship has the same decor. It has the same princess feel. The biggest difference for me is the promenade deck. You can't walk, you can't do the loop around like you can on an older princess ship, but at the same time, you have a bunch of private sitting areas on the promenade deck that they don't have on the newer ones. Look at that yacht going by. It's like a lot of really cool yachts here. I'm on a Royal class ship now, so what would Ruby be? Regal class? I'm still trying to learn all that stuff. I was on the inaugural cruise of Crown Princess and still have the crystal bowl. I want to go on an inaugural cruise so bad. I'm a dork for that kind of stuff. And if you don't know, with Princess, if you sail on a ship within the first year, your medallion is white and your loyalty member is the Princess logo here? That's called a sea witch. That woman with the hair, that's called a sea witch. That logo will be your loyalty color. So if you go on a ship within the first year, your logo will be white. And these are magnetic, so you can use them as refrigerator magnets, stuff like that. I'm a sucker for tchotchkes like that. But I don't know if Andrew's telling me no on what class of ship that is. But yeah, I would love to do an inaugural. Thoughts on RV van buying market? It seems to be getting better, Apple, and I think it's going to continue to get better, especially interest rates are up, so it costs more monthly payment. I think you're going to see it continue to get better, in my personal opinion, now that people can travel other ways. I mean, my cruise ship stock is, I bought this 100 shares of Carnival so I could get the onboard credit. It was like $7 a share, so I paid like $700, and now it's worth $1,200, Cruise ships are going through the roof because they're having unprecedented amount of bookings. So people are starting to travel other ways. So I think you'll see the cost of them come down. Did you say what you do in between cruises? Jeff, I normally hop from cruise ship to cruise ship with at most 2 days in between. Most of the time, no days in between. Sometimes 1 day in between. I stay at a hotel. I book everything with my Chase Sapphire Reserve. I haven't paid for a hotel or a flight in 4 years because I get points for travel, and I do nothing but travel. So I get points for travel and eating out, and that's all I do. So I haven't paid for a flight, and I've been traveling for 4 years straight. I just recently got like 70,000 points for all the cruises I've been booking, which is about 1,100 worth of trade-in value on Chase Sapphire Reserve system. Yeah, there you go. Inaugural year is white. You get a white medallion. Is cruising for working nomads? I think you can cruise as a nomad. I wouldn't say the internet is spectacular if you got to do a lot of video stuff, like VTC, video teleconferences. I'd say, I don't know. But it's doable. I was on somebody's live stream the other night and they saw me fine and it worked. Email, internet, surfing, it's pretty easy. It's pretty decent, or at least on the ships I've been on. Doesn't matter how many shares you buy. You have to, most cruise lines you have to own 100 shares. So like Carnival you have to own 100 shares. But you get up to 250 onboard credit. Like if you do a 14-day cruise, you get 250 onboard credit. So you can pay for those shares pretty quickly. In 4 14-day cruises, you can pay for those shares. I don't know if any Princess have solo rooms, but I've been, I tell people a lot of times, be careful with solo and studio cabins. A lot of times it's a marketing gimmick. Because you know what an inside cabin is called when you stay by yourself? It's called a solo cabin. You know what a balcony cabin is when you stay by yourself? It's called a solo cabin. So I was looking at a Norwegian cruise one time, and on Cruise Plum you can compare the prices of the different cabins for the same cruise, and the studio cabin costs more than the balcony. Actually, it costs more than the suite. So you could get a suite paying the solo rate. You could get a suite for more than you could get or for less than you could get a studio cabin for. So always be careful with that. Does Princess have them? I don't know. But they do have inside cabins that I stay in solo. So yeah, I guess they do have studio solo cabins. Because I'm staying solo in a studio size cabin, right? So always check the inside cabin prices because again, like I say, what do you call an inside cabin with only one person staying in it? A solo cabin. So always check the prices because a lot of times you can get the inside cabin at the solo rate for cheaper than the studio. Okay, so always check that. And sometimes you can get way better cabins for cheaper than the studio. Like I said, there was one NCL cruise where you could get the suite for cheaper than the studio. So be careful, it's kind of a marketing gimmick. What you're more concerned about is what does it cost you to cruise per day paying the solo rate? Doesn't matter if you're in a solo cabin, a balcony, or what. Figure out what it costs you to cruise, what the daily rate is. And that's what I like about the Cruise Plum website. It's just a search engine. They don't sell you anything. Is you can look at what your daily rate is counting gratuities. And so you can, people always ask me, are you paying a solo supplement? Are you, like, things like that. A lot of times, yeah, but I don't really care about that. What does the cruise cost me per day? Because someone who's not paying any solo supplement on the studio might be paying more per day to stay in that cabin than I'm paying for a balcony. Most of the time on Princess, I'm only paying a 10% supplement. I took a Princess cruise where I paid a negative 3% supplement. I paid less to book a cabin by myself as a solo than someone paid booking double occupancy per person. You just have to look for those deals. So, some cruises though, like that inaugural cruise I was talking about, that's really expensive. The solo rate is about $2,000 for that cruise. But the solo rate is 100%. So I'd have to pay double to stay in that cabin. So $4,000 instead of $2,000. So sometimes it is more. Whew. But there are a lot of cruise ships with solo balconies now, and I don't think Princess has any. Are you going to Alaska this year? Yeah, I actually had I had like a month in Alaska. I had a bunch of cruises booked, and then the price of this Fire and Ice cruise dropped. The price of this Fire and Ice cruise dropped, so I canceled those cruises because I only had them on hold. I canceled those cruises and did this Fire and Ice cruise because Alaska's easy. Fire and Ice cruise, which is a bunch of ports in Iceland and Norway at the end of May, June timeframe, is a much harder cruise to get, especially at the price I got it for, and it actually just dropped again in price. But I will be doing some Alaska. When I come over to do my Trans-Pacific cruise from California to Japan, before that cruise I will be doing some Alaskan cruises, most likely. I don't have them booked yet though. Yeah, so when you buy Carnival Cruise Line stock, that covers Carnival Cruises, Princess Cruises, and Holland America, and a couple other premium lines, because Carnival owns those lines. And same when you book Norwegian, they own a bunch of lines too. I think they own Oceanic or something. Same thing. And then Royal Caribbean, same thing. Kevin, you need to check the casino rate now that you won. Yeah, I don't even know. Where do I check casino rate? I don't even know where to check that at. For those that don't know, my last cruise ship I was on, for my video, I just went to the casino and I said, you know what, I'll do a little gambling for my video. I put $50 in the machine. I wasn't even really paying attention, and I lost all the money in like 2 seconds, which is fine, whatever. Well, then I got this little letter under my door that said, hey, your next cruise, you get $150 onboard casino credit. So I took it on this cruise, the first leg of this cruise, this 21-day cruise I'm doing. I went down to the casino, got my casino credit, had $150. I didn't even sit down. I just put it in the, I'm just gonna burn through this, see if I win anything. And I won $1,000. And then I went in and cashed it out, got cash back, gave my stateroom steward a good tip, and pocketed the rest. I actually bought some future cruise credits with it for Princess, and so maybe I'll get more because I won. I don't know. They haven't offered me anything yet. They did send me a bottle of wine, so that was nice. A bottle of red wine, which I didn't drink. I left in my stateroom. I should have taken it to the Solos meetup, but I forgot. Yeah, I don't even know how to check the casino. Can you send me info on that? Yeah, can you send me info on that on Facebook, Andrea, how to do the casino stuff? And what she means by casino rate is sometimes you'll get cheap cruises because they think you're going to spend a lot of money at the casino. How many people do you usually, here's what Cheryl asked, how many people do you usually dinner with? Do you usually do a set dinner timing? So I'm like an 80-year-old man. I eat dinner at like 5 or 6 o'clock. So I'll go down there and I'll either ask the maitre d' to sit me with someone that, sit me with people who want to sit with other people, and there's a lot of people that do that, couples and solos. But like I met Andrea on the cruise and she invited me to her group, so I ate with her, Deb and Brownlee. So I ate with them one night. And when I was on Ruby Princess, we had a solo group on there, and we all went to lunch together every day. We had a solos table for lunch, and we all went to dinner together. So, and there was like 8 or 9 of us on there. So it just varies from cruise ship to cruise ship.
Finally, ask somebody, and we're walking up and down, we're looking for that number. Then finally, about holiday or
Hey Chris, how you doing, man? Good to see you too. How are mid-rats? Mid-rats on a cruise ship are amazing compared, for those that don't know, on a US Navy ship, you have lunch, you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you can go eat at the galley. But for people that have watch at night, they have what's called mid-rats, and it's usually not very good because it's all the leftover food. But they have food at night for people who are on the night shift, but it's usually not good. So he's asking me what is nighttime food like on a cruise ship. It's pretty good. A lot of the stuff is closed at night, but there's still some things that are open. And International Cafe is always open, and they have all kinds of really good desserts, like prosciutto sandwiches with croissant buns, stuff like that. So, and you can always order stuff. They'll have something's open on board. I'm usually sleeping because, like I said, I'm like an old man. I go to bed at like 9 o'clock and I get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So, yeah, I ate with Andrea and our dinner was like 3 hours, but most of it, a lot of it was our own fault. We probably could have been done in an hour and a half. But yeah. Yeah, it stands for midnight rations or mid-watch rations. The midnight watch is called the mid-watch. but it's usually really bad food. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to Future Cruises after this. And I'm gonna ask them about that casino credit. See if maybe I can get it. I'm trying to book this 28-day cruise, and it's not at the price I want it to be right now. It's a little bit more than I want to spend per day. It's about 150 bucks per day. It's a really cool cruise though. It's Northern Lights cruise and Baltic Sea cruise, and it would go on the back of my Fire and Ice cruise. It starts the next day, or the same day I would get off. So I'm thinking about doing that one. But right now it's not at a price that I want to pay. Yeah, there's lots of pastries on the ship. Like, you can always find food. And yeah, there's always fresh fruit there as well. Always fresh fruit. Apples, pears, pomegranates, bananas. Multi-hour dining must have reminded you of Italy. Yeah, definitely. Playing a little Randy Travis. I love the Baltic Sea cruise. It was like cruising on a lake. Yeah, I've done a Baltic Sea cruise on a Navy ship. Actually, a long time ago though, in the 90s. What do the dinners that you join say when you tell them you're cruising for a year? Would love to see the. Yeah, they always, they're always like, what? And then I have to tell them the whole story. But to be honest with you, you will meet a lot of full-time cruisers on cruise ships, or a lot of most of the time cruisers. There's a lot of people that cruise a lot. There's someone on this cruise ship right now that's been on here for 8 months. And you know what's funny is there's a guy on here right now, and I've never talked to him. But I was on Ruby Princess, and I get up really early in the morning and I walk around, get a bunch of steps in. And I would see this guy every morning. And then my first day on Sky Princess, walking around in the morning, there he is, same guy. So I stopped him this time and I said, oh, you're on Sky? And he said, yeah. And he just hops from cruise ship to cruise ship. He's probably in his mid-50s. I never had a deep conversation with him, but I saw him one day wearing a military hat, so I'm assuming he's probably retired military. And so he's making use of that pension, man, just traveling cruise ship to cruise ship. But he's on, I saw him this morning doing the turnaround, so he's on this one again with me. But I see him every morning where we walk the same route on the ship to get our steps in. So, but I need to end this live stream because I only have 5% battery life left, and we've been going for 3 hours. I really appreciate everyone. I'm going to try to do a live stream later on this week. To test out a live stream underway at sea. I'm going to do one. I want to see what it's like and see if it works. So we'll do that sometime midweek, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and there should be another video. I should be at least. Will definitely be one video a week, at least 2 video weeks from now on. I did 2 last week, and then I have 6 total cruise videos if you're new to my channel. So hello, Kirkwood, Missouri. What's going on? I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, South County. So how you doing? For everyone that stopped by, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you showing up. For all the new channel members that Kaylee gifted, thank you for doing that, Kaylee. For everyone who did a super chat, thank you. For everyone who showed up, period, thanks for showing up. And awesome, Apple, that your son's a new Marine. Congratulations to him. That's a really tough boot camp. Goodbye, everyone, and see you on the next live stream.